Good evening, guys. How are you doing? I'm hoping that you can hear me okay, first and foremost. So I'll check in the live chat to see if you guys can hear me nice, loud, and clear. And I hope you're all doing well. You may not have even heard that, but I got to check. Equipment and all has been a little weird here lately, so just want to make sure everything's cool. Can you guys hear me? Okay, good, good. Yes. Okay. Thanks, y'all. Good. Good. Hey, thanks for thanks for being here, you guys. I got a really special show tonight. In fact, I was trying to think back to how long it's been since Nicholson 1968 and I did a show. I feel like maybe there was one a few years ago, but if there wasn't that, then I'm talking we must be going back to 2015, 2016 days, back when I did a lot more of the live shows. Because I know it's been a while, but we're friends and have remained friends over the years, but he's a busy man and so am I. But, occasionally we'll reach out and check in with each other. So if you didn't know, Nicholson 1968 is here with me this evening. Uh, most of you are already, are already familiar with him. I call him a bit of a truther legend. He's been around for many, many years, just like me. Not a lot of us survived through the years, but he's one of them that's still around with us. And I'm really grateful for that. And if you never heard from Nicholson 1968, prepare yourself. You're in for a treat. He's got great wisdom and he's a creator, like myself, likes to create videos, not just for fun, but to share with the world and hopefully wake people up. So let me go ahead and see if I can't bring him in right now. There he is. Nicholson, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for reaching out. Thanks for the the great intro. The check's in the mail for that intro. But yeah, I mean, I'm, I'm always honored to be on your show or whatever it may be. I think the last time we were together, I think we were on. You remember Games Exposed? You remember he did video games and he would decode them and talk about. I think that was the last show we were kind of together
Oh,
on
wow.
Games Exposed. So it's been a while. It's probably been 2016. It was around the time Pizzagate
Yeah.
was really big back then. Now people are starting to discover it and coming out. So but yeah, so always being on the shows is an honor. So
Oh, man.
I view you the same way. I view um, KJ. He was around in the beginning. His scariest movie ever was his YouTube channel, and like you said, a lot of them came and went. Didn't survive for whatever reason. The thing I loved about KJ is it isn't about the money. It's always been about telling the truth, getting it out there. How can you help the community, help whoever? And a lot of you had the category of YouTubers that fell into this. If I'm not making money and I can't monetize on YouTube, then I'm gone. So you would see them go on the wayside. And
That's
then
so
you
true.
and then you had the YouTubers that was prophesizing and doing the dates and nothing. Everything they were doing was wrong, and then they lost all of their subscribers. So I'm glad I'm still around. Glad you're still around. There's a few of us OGs, I guess, still around. So
Yeah. No,
appreciate
hey, thank you, man. Oh, yeah. No, of course. And you're always welcome. And it's been a long time since I'd even been in the mood to kind of do some of these types of shows, honestly, just the last few years. I mean, it's a real battle. And like you said, with losing your monetization, I've got a huge shout out to those that support my videos and shows. I had to keep fighting for that whenever I lost the monetization online and everything. And I'm just super grateful they're here. It's all a blessing. And it's helped me stay in this longer because there's nothing else in this world I care about except for this. Really, this is all I really care about doing.
it.
But either way, man, yeah, glad to have you back. It probably has been a really long time because 2015, 2016, all of us used to, team up and do different shows. Now, I may kind of want to start bringing that back the best I can. So be reaching out to some other people here soon and we'll kind of see what we can do. But besides that, I'm just happy to have you here. Well, let me ask you though, man. So we'll just jump right in. What are some of the anything recent you've been looking at? Anything, any new perspectives you have on what's going on right now? If you just want to start there.
Well, I mean, for those who have not heard of me or whatever that may be, um, I was one of the first ones, and KJ can probably back this up, but I was one of the first talking about transhumanism and what was going to come, and I never changed. That was the gist of why. As you can see behind me, you have the iron and the clay. You have the man merging with machine. That's always been my logo. It's never changed. Nicholson1968 is simply my last name and the year that I was born. There's no secret behind that name, but and it hasn't changed today, and it's where we're going. And I mean, I tell you what, the deception is really thick, and KJ can attest to this. But the thing is, I've always said, digital currency. That is where it's going with digital currency. They want to bring in and the cabal. And what is happening now, what I see is they're using Trump as the good cop. He's taking down the evil cabal and the evil Federal Reserve and the central bankers and going to bring in digital cryptocurrency. And the name should tell you right there, crypto. I mean, dead. I mean, it's that's what they want, with the merging of the healthcare system, which is, I believe, why RFK is in the mix, and they're going to do away. They're selling you all this pie in the sky. We're going to fix everything in the healthcare, and then we're going to take down everything digital. So you got one world religion, one world. It hasn't changed, has it, KJ? One form of money, one world religion, everything merging together. So you see those pieces. I see those pieces. I know you do, KJ. So just watching things with the Trumpsters, and look, I'm a conservative, and I get it, but I'm looking at just some of the stuff that just is not true. Nobody does their research, just like years and years ago. They just regurgitate what they see on TikTok, Instagram, and everywhere else. So you have that. One thing that's emerged, and we talked a little bit about this before I came on, is this Satan's little season, the Tartarian kingdom.
Yes, I'm glad you're talking. I'm glad you're talking about that because I mean, that has caught on like a wildfire over the last couple of years. I see it in comments all the time, messages. There's even people that in the past I've enjoyed some of their videos. I'm seeing some of these people now falling for this thing, and I'm like, again, I'm not a Bible scholar, but I do read, and I'm like, do y'all not read your Bible at all? I mean, you should see through this. So I'm glad you're talking about it. Preterism, this Satan small season, is a big end times deception right now. Go ahead.
It is, and I'll share, for the listeners, I'm going to share a scripture with you that addresses that movement, because it is a big time. It is caught on like wildfire and all of this stuff. But if you I'll have to do the cliff notes, KJ, but
That's okay.
But if you go to Revelations chapter 20, and it speaks of chapter 20, and I'll get it here in front of me.
Okay.
Chapter 20, verse 5, it says, "The rest of the dead did not come to life until the 1,000 years were completed. This is the first resurrection." Okay. Verse 6, "Blessed and holy is the one who has a part in the first resurrection. Over these, the second death has no power, but they will be priests of God and of Christ and will reign with him for 1,000 years. Now, here's what's important. This little season movement, they believe that Christ has already came and already ruled for 1,000 years. And number one, they can't answer, okay, if he's ruled for 1,000 years, where's he now? Oh, he's in heaven or whatever. They just make stuff up that's not even biblical. But here's the kicker, verse 7. "And when the 1,000 years are completed, Satan will be released from his prison." So, so it's telling you everybody that was dead is come to life and is going to know the truth with that 1,000-year reign. And then after that, Satan is released. So here's the thing. If we're in the little season, then there should be no dead people. They're all alive per the scripture. If you're a Bible student and you believe in the Bible and the word, there it is. Simple. Revelation chapter 20, read verse 5, 6, and 7. And that will put to shame all the Tartarian little season. Now, here's the thing that I want to talk with you, KJ, is understanding the days of Noah and the technology and everything that was back in that day. That was the Tartarian kingdom where they removed the Baals. That's the time where all of that, you see, that's what I believe. That is understanding the days of Noah and why things were destroyed. It wasn't just because men were sinning and drinking and having sex and all this stuff. There was a reason why that Jesus says it will be like in the days of Noah, because understanding the days of Noah was the technology was way more advanced back then than we have now. And the reason they left out books in the Bible, especially Jasher and Enoch, is because they were mixing DNA with animals and everything else, and they were provoking the Lord to anger. And look where it's going that way again.
They just created the dire wolves. You probably saw that one.
Yes, exactly. So, you know, that's the thing. I don't know everything. Neither does KJ. I just, you know, I kind of, in the beginning, you know, you have to look at, most people on here probably know how I started and what the Holy Spirit had shown me that was beyond me. There was things that was given to me that there's no way I could have figured it out as a human being. There's no way the calculations and how the mark of the beast is part of changing a human being's DNA, the mark of the beast and his name.
Oh yeah.
So there's no way I could know that.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. And of course, well, you know, the poison, I got to be careful, we're on YouTube, but you know, the poison that people are taking, that is creating the third strand DNA also. So that too is mixing iron with clay. And then I just seen, you know, I noticed trends in the news. I've been doing this so many years, but I think it's looking more and more like they're going to have the cure for cancer soon. And that the cure for cancer, but that will be a part of the mark of the beast, along with the cure for maybe all ailments. Like it's going to be kind of an end all be all. We can take care of everything. You know, another selling point for it. And you're
going to want it, and that's the key, folks. People think the mark is they're going to try to force it. No, look, Satan tempts you. You want it. It's not, look, if he could destroy us, he would have already done that. He can't. You know what I mean? You have to destroy yourself. He has to whisper it or put it in front of you, and you go get it.
Yeah, man, that is painful, but it's true.
It's true. And I'm with you that the cancer thing is, hey, we can save you, but here's what you got to do. Whatever. I mean, and there it is. You know, it's which here it is. It goes against the lie, because what does Jesus tell you? You have to be born again. You have to die to overcome death to get your next body, your spiritual body. And I said this in my videos. Is a butterfly and a caterpillar two different things? No, they're not. They're just in two different realms of their development. It's like a human. A butterfly starts off as an egg. So do we. And then you go through this world ugly, like a caterpillar. Then you go into the sleep state, the cocoon, just like the butterfly. And then you wait, sleep, and then you get your wings and you're beautiful and butterfly. Same thing here. And they're trying to fool you. They want you to become a better caterpillar. They don't want you to become a butterfly. That's all it is. They want you to become a better man. No, that's not what, you know, that's just not the way it flows.
No, I agree. That's how they're trying to sell it, of course. And You know, it's going to be the ultimate man, you know, once we can merge with machine. And I'm glad we see through it, but it's painful to me sometimes how many people don't. And I don't know, and not to get too much into family stuff, but I've mentioned before, even like my own mom and dad, they raised me in church, but they are just clueless about what's going on and the days. And no matter what I tell them, I mean, I was over there about a week ago and I spent 30 minutes them trying to convince me to buy life insurance, you know, for myself. Yeah, see what I'm saying? And I'm like, life insurance. Like, do y'all know where we're at of the timeline? I didn't say that, but it's like, guys, I mean, it's about to pop off, and I believe the Lord's coming for His bride. So I mean, you know, I'm not worried about freaking life insurance, okay? But it's like the last thing, right? But you know, I mean, and that's just the world we're in, and even out in public, what I feel like I always call it having to play pretend world, you know, like around people I know. And there's not many. I'm pretty isolated, but also family. It's like it's always play pretend world. You know, you got to put on a mask. So I'm just always like, come quickly, Lord Jesus. You know, I'm tired of the illusion, and I'm really tired of seeing people I care about, you know, living delusional, very delusional realities. But
Yeah, I mean,
go ahead.
I'm just amazed at. Let's just take the Trump thing.
Yeah.
Look. I want to believe. Here's I'm going to just say this simple, as simple as I can be. If you're to the Christians, if you're a Christian and you believe we're in the end times, okay, and most people that claim to be Christian believe we're in the end times. So if we're in the end times, then there's a roadmap for the end times, okay? And that roadmap is the Bible, Book of Revelation, Thessalonian, covers some of it, Daniel, whatever. There's nowhere on the roadmap that God uses a man or a political party or anything of that nature to help Jesus accomplish what he needs to accomplish. And people are going, well, wait a minute, God can use whoever he wants. I get that. And he does. But after he has spoken the word and he has spoken it, it doesn't change. Sorry.
Yeah.
And if it did change, that would scare you. But he doesn't change. He spoke it into existence. This is the way it's going. This is the roadmap. And so if Trump stands up and says, I've been chosen by God, then is there an amendment to Revelation that I need to know about? I mean, he could do that, but that's not in his nature. He just doesn't. He hasn't done that, and
no.
And I, and that's why I think, everybody has been beat down so much. They want better. They want the things to come back. I get it, but you got to put your glasses on to see, and discernment glasses to see. Look, man, the guy's been in 4 months. Okay. The guy's been in 4 months. There are no major arrests. There's no Epstein tapes. Notice everybody's talking about the list. Go back. People were talking about the tapes. Where's the tapes? Where's the DD list? We're still going to Fort Knox. Remember that? The drone, it's squirrel. It's distraction upon. The latest with Katy Perry going.
Oh gosh.
Going to space. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, 11 minutes. There's 6 women in there. 6 times 11 is 66. 6 times 6, 3 6s. It's all in there. And
oh gosh, good one.
And then the DNA. Remember, I told you what's the ultimate they want to do. The ultimate they want to do is the 66 strands. 22, 22, 22 in the middle. That's 322 skull and bones number. 6 times 11, 66, which is part of the. I mean, it's all a ritual. They ring the bells. I don't know if y'all saw that. They ring the bells. They go into the to the capsule, and over the door it says light the candle. So look up Kim Novak and lighting the candle, ringing the bells. It's all rituals with bell. And that's why most of the capsules are shaped like a bell. I mean, it's KJ knows this. He's been doing it forever. I mean,
it's all good, man. I love hearing your perspective. I agree. I'm putting some stuff in my next video about The ritual of it, the reason that the rocket looks like a wiener, all that stuff,
Yeah.
and the public sees it, but they don't get it on the deeper level. I see a lot of people calling it out. It is nice to see so many people, even in the mainstream, calling out that whole thing with Blue Horizon or whatever that's called. That how fake it was,
Oh,
and how bold they're getting. But again, to me, that's
yeah.
another sign of how close we're getting to the end, because that final 7 years, people think we're struggling to tell the truth nowadays. Goodness gracious! So it's just going to be full on deception, man. So like now we're starting to see more and more just the total BS. Like
I,
really,
really,
go ahead.
it's like I was going to ask you this, and we have this discussion because here's the thing: I see this is just my opinion. Um, a lot of people out there going, we're having a great awakening. We're seeing stuff now. We can. This is my opinion. They're wanting look. They're wanting you to see certain things for a reason, and it has to do with Trump and his administration. They want to portray him as a savior, that he is taking down the evil cabal and the child trafficking and all of this stuff that we showed you what
For
10, 15,
years.
for years. So it's a great awakening. I just don't believe it. It's being shown to you for a certain. I mean, there are some awakening. Don't get me wrong, but I just think it's part of the good cop, bad cop. He's saving us. He's going to take down the Federal Reserve, which we've known for years that the cabal want a digital trackable currency. Period. I mean, and people are cheering it on. It's just and then let's talk about this, Mr. Elon Musk.
Oh, and before
Go
we
ahead. Go
do,
ahead. You go ahead.
before we do, I just want to throw this out on your thoughts on Trump. But there's another thing that's been popping up a lot, and I think the Lord allows us to see this stuff. But there's a lot of worship of Trump and the golden idol symbolism. Did you see the thing, the Trump Gaza video that came out? There was some of that in there. Nimrod, golden statue.
The statue and all that. Did you see the one with the goat with the $100 bill?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, it's like
Hello. And
what,
then then last week, last week, I'll just throw this out. Last week, I showed a story on the news on my KJ's What Happened channel where there's people in Trump's administration wearing a gold lapel pin of Trump's head.
oh yeah.
So yeah, dude. Anyway, so go ahead.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's so blatant, and then you still have people cheering on Trump claim to be a Christian. I'm like, what happened? I mean, what's going on? And then the Elon Musk thing. Look, folks.
Yeah.
How can a guy claim? And he says it in his own words. He was chosen by God, and your right hand man believes in transhumanism. He does not believe in God. He believes in going to space when we cannot go to space. There's a firmament. We can't. And there's a reason we can't. It's for our protection. And then the name of his capsule is the dragon. And the dragon wants to sit. I mean, Scripture tells you he wants to sit on high like the Most High. That's what he's talking about. And then let's cover Neuralace, brain chips. This guy is the right-hand man of a guy chosen by God that goes against everything that Jesus came and I mean, it's just, I don't get the Trumpsters of, did you just forget about Elon Musk over the past 15 years that KJ shared stuff, I've shared stuff, other YouTubers have shared. It's just, I don't get it. I mean,
well, even with the whole thing with, kind of the hope in Trump and Elon and all that, but you already you pointed it out in the Bible, but yeah, there's nowhere in the Bible where it says, Babylon gets destroyed, America Babylon gets saved. It's got to die, guys. Like this is a very sinful, evil country. I know some people don't like to hear that, but it certainly is. This is the new Babylon. It's like a melting pot, and its evil tentacles reach around the world. I mean, so many other nations are under our spell. When I lived in Costa Rica, people were watching American television. Some people were out there, and I cringed at. It's like, gosh, man, I wish y'all would just not, because they don't have stuff like that out in Costa Rica, and I'm sure other countries. They're not producing these dumb reality shows and the garbage that we see so often out here. But so yeah, you're right. There's nothing that says that it's going to be saved. I
The thing that is interesting with Babylon is Babylon sends out its mighty men to fight all over the world. Folks, if that doesn't tell you who Babylon is, what other country sends their men all over the world to fight?
Yeah.
We're you can say, well, Babylon's the church or the Roman. They don't have mighty men that fight all over the world. They don't. Number two, it's funny when Babylon collapses. It says, I can't remember the verse, but it says, those who have gotten fat off of Babylon stand in awe from the smoke or from its collapse.
Right.
Now,
yeah.
So you look at what just happened with the tariffs. Trump's telling you right now, look who is getting fat off of us. We're Babylon. I mean, I don't know what else to say.
No, that's a good point.
It is. And so I don't know. I mean, it's the thing we talked about before we came on was, man, back in the day, KJ, you remember it was stuff that would happen every 6 months. Man,
yeah.
It is like happening every week, every other day of just crazy stuff. I mean,
yes, man, they're piling it on. You're right. I mean, there was a time where, some people probably struggled for content back in the old days, but man, nowadays it's like there's no struggle. It's like every day there's something new, and they really are piling it on, and the world is still suffering from the trauma of the pandemic and the lockdowns and all that stuff, so there's that, and people are still suffering from that. It really is like a massive, psychological trauma that took place. Just remember and we still see some of it now, but people getting triggered all the time, and fighting each other over a red hat, over the Trump hats and things like this.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And that's still happening now. It's just, so yeah, the division is there. The lines have been drawn. I've been saying for a few years that, my sense is that the lines are being drawn and that the sheep and the goats are being separated. So I see it even more and more now. And just look how mental people are going. Again, I'm not some fan of Elon Musk. I know what he is, but all the people attacking his cars and setting them on fire and fighting people that are driving. And it's like, yeah, the division's here. The chaos is here. Trump, again, I pray for him. I pray for him, and I like seeing some of the things that he does here and there. It's like good, but like I always tell the people, man, as he's abolishing all these government organizations and all this and destroying all this, it feels good, But on the other hand, we're witnessing the end of the fourth age. Like we're watching the old ways being destroyed, so this final system can be in place. That AI Stargate grid that's coming in, that's what they're getting ready for.
Man, and AI has gotten so good. I mean, there's so many AI accounts on TikTok, Instagram, and I mean, it is crazy.
Yeah, it's hard to distinguish. It's really, really good.
Really good. Going back to Elon real quick look, I'm all for Elon doing the Doge thing, but here's where I want you to just step back. Not you so much, KJ, but and your followers are smart, just like mine are pretty smart. I mean, they know.
Yeah.
But think about this now. They just arrested 3 people for damaging Elon Musk dealerships. Arrested them. Okay. They're announcing all of this stuff that has been stolen. Chelsea Clinton, we paid for her wedding. We paid for her house in the Hamptons. It was supposed to go to the Clinton Foundation for Haiti and all of that stuff. So he's announcing all this stuff. There's no arrest. Why would you do that? Now, this is rhetorical, but why would you do that? I'll tell you why. Think about this. If I came to you and I said, you know what? You called me, KJ, and all your stuff was stolen. And I called you and I came to your front of your house and I lined up. I said, yeah, I've got everybody that robbed you and I've got all of your stuff. And then you, just like American people, well, when are you going to give me some money back and when are you going to arrest them? Well, we're going to have to Yeah. See what I'm saying? No,
Hmm.
it's to get you riled up and, division. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, um,
Yeah. And Trump's just one man, and Elon is just one little kind of group. I mean, they're not going to solve all the world's problems, but like you said, and like we both know, it's unfortunately that's already ingrained in a lot of people's brains, and
yeah,
and it's hero worship, man. It's oh, I mentioned it in a show recently, and somebody wrote to me in a message and was like, this is really depressing. Then what are we supposed to do? Because I was talking kind of negative with Trump about following him the way people do. And I said, it's Jesus, man. It's Jesus only. That is it. Like right now, it's all eyes on Jesus, man. All hope and faith and trust in Christ. Forget these humans, man. I'm done. Like
yeah,
focus on Jesus, man. Go
yeah.
ahead.
And that's why I've kind of pulled away over the years. I mean, I pop in and kind of do a video when I feel like that I need to. And I did
Right.
one, and I'll tell you the one that I did was, for years, Club of Rome. Club of Rome. Um,
Yeah, let's hear some of that. I've seen some, but go ahead in case the
so
people don't know.
yeah, okay. So Club of Rome is a secret society out there with the Bilderbergers, and the rest of them. But for years, they have told us that to usher in a new world order, or we call it an antichrist kingdom, they needed to bring the world under 10 different zones in the world. Okay, now zone 1 includes, get this, United States, Greenland, and Canada. Now, when Trump's now, as bad as this country is and was when he got elected, and how much stuff needs to be fixed here, he starts talking about Canada being the 51st state, and he's going to buy Greenland and all of this stuff, folks. I mean, I'm telling you, that is zone 1. Zone 9 is Russia, Ukraine, all of that's that battle going on for zone 9. So that to bring in the Club of Rome and that fruition, that had to be done. But here's the other thing: let's go back to Bible prophecy. Um, in the end, it's a resurrected Roman Empire that never went away. Club of Rome. Okay,
Absolutely, yeah.
absolutely. Okay. Now here's the thing: has to be 10 kingdoms. Mr. Elon Musk buys Twitter and he changes it to X. What is X in Roman numerals? 10. His kid is X. The digital currency that is going to take SWIFT out. Anybody that knows anything about banking right now, I'll kind of tell you. Anything that is moved over the world through wire transfer has to go through SWIFT. They want to do away with SWIFT and move to XRP. XRP, XLM, everything they're setting up. SpaceX, Elon
Oh
Musk.
yeah,
X,
it's all X with him, and Osiris X and the Freemasons X, and of
all that. So,
course.
and he even changed his name temporarily to, what was it? It was
Oh, Cacus Maximus.
Roman name. So
Yeah,
they're telling you that resurrected Roman Empire that it has never really. I mean, the Senate that we have today, the Senate's right out of the old Rome. And here's the other kid. Remember this big to do? Oh, that's Hitler.
oh
Germany.
yeah,
Do your research. You know where it comes from, KJ. It's the old Roman days. Hitler stole it from Rome. That is
yeah.
the Roman
The
Legion.
the
So,
Heil, yeah.
yeah. So, it's just, as you decode things, you kind of learn their language and what it stands for in the symbolism. Of course, we don't catch everything. I'm just a human being, but you do start seeing that symbolism, and they are getting bold. And I'll ask you this, KJ. Some of the stuff they're doing is just it's so stupid. It's like, can a third grader see through this? And people don't. I mean, I'm not being arrogant. I'm just saying that whole Katy Perry thing where he opens the door
Yeah.
and then they cut it, and then he comes back and gets a tool to try to open the door. I mean, it's just it's like,
Seriously.
I don't know what do you think? Do you think they did that on purpose? Or
I don't know, man, Nicholson. Like I say, I'm still really amazed at just how obviously dumb and fake a lot of this was, and I'm also really impressed, like I said, by the general public, because a lot of people are calling it out, and this is just the beginning of many. I mean, I'm sure we'll be seeing more of this madness, and it was a ritual, as you say, and there's a lot of people who've even gone through some of the numbers of it aside from what you shared, which was good. It all lines up, and they've been doing these kind of rituals for a long time. Like I said, I'm going to get into
yeah,
that in my next video some. But no, I'm with you, man. It's just total madness, and this is why, even for me, and I mentioned earlier before we came on the show, we talked for a little bit, but that for the last couple of years, I've really pulled away. I've become way more isolated and secluded, and it's not like a sad, depressing thing at all. It's like a lot of God's kids are going through this now in these days.
hmm,
I believe we're being separated from the world, so embrace it. And I'm not looking. I don't. I'm done. Like that's after this last couple of years, everything I've seen, experienced, going through, even in private, like in my real life, I've told some of the folks about some of the supernatural stuff. I told them on my last show, and I mentioned to you this past weekend, my bank accounts were attacked. They pulled out like between 700 and 1,000 from
mm,
my main bank before I caught it. And then on Sunday morning, my phone's beeping, beeping, beeping. I go look, and someone's into my Cash App, and they're hitting
wow,
a Google Pay, man, 99 cents, right? So what do? Well, I just immediately prayed and said, Lord, I need a hedge of protection. I mean, I'm so tired of this because, at my website, I'm dealing with stuff there, attacks like I've never seen, man. They came in there and they removed the images off my videos for 6
wow,
years. Yeah,
yeah,
weird stuff, right? And it's like, but I'm not going to act surprised, oh my gosh, or scared. It's like I get what it is. It's real supernatural. It's real spiritual warfare, and these are demons, man. And I'm not propping myself up, but anybody these days who's trying to just tell the truth, man, and finds the truth, it's like we're under attack, and it's very serious. So I'm with you, man. The last few years,
yeah,
I've really tightened up, pulled back, focusing more on my walk with the Lord, just, getting rid of some of the stuff that was in my life, and I did. So that's what it's been. I feel like I'm kind of coming out of it a little bit now, but I'm still very timid, man. Like I said, these are crazy times. It takes everything I've got to put my energy into shows and videos because I care. It's again, I obsess over it. It's all I care about in this world, and I just want to keep going. But it ain't easy. I know you feel that too, man. It's like we
yeah.
feel the evil frequencies or whatever. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say I agree with you. You know the the positive thing for me um, is my family is very supportive. They wasn't in the beginning. They thought I was Looney Tune, but over the years they start seeing things. Watching some of your stuff, some other good YouTubers out there. Too many to name back in the day, and I do miss them. But yeah, I mean I've got the support. Of they don't think I'm crazy anymore, and I can have those kind of conversations. But like the general public, if I walk out into my community or whatever, I can't have these kind of that I
No.
I can't have those talks. And I've learned that a long time ago that you can't have those talks unless sometimes if I'm out and they'll say something, then I know that I can have a conversation.
Yep. I'm
And
the same way.
I don't do it first. I used to kind of try to save everybody kind of thing. And that's not how it works for me. I just keep to myself. And if something comes up, the whole Tartarian thing, there's still people now, even part of the end time deception is Jesus Christ was a whole myth and it doesn't exist. And I
Oh,
get it. Yeah. And here's my thing. Look at my channel. No matter if you're a religious person or not, I'm telling you, there is an attack on the human body. Call it the temple of God in the religious realm, but it is an attack on us. There's no attack on, that's it in a nutshell. And what I share with the DNA, that's why I believe in Jesus Christ and the Holy Spirit of what he showed me. And people can say Jesus didn't exist and all of this stuff or whatever, but what I was shown and what I put in, I mean, it's not from Buddha, it's not from all these other religions. It revolves around the Christian Bible and the roadmap that matches up of what's going. I mean, let's do I'm going to share this. Remember the 10 kingdoms I told you at the Rome, the Rome, the
Pearl of Rome.
So Revelation chapter, I think 17. Hang on a minute, 17:12. Okay, here we go. 17:12, guys. And then 10 horns, which you saw, are 10 kings who have not yet received a kingdom, but they receive authority as kings with the beast for 1 hour. This is right towards the end with the Babylon. So the Club of Rome, 10 regions, there it is. It matches up the 10 kingdoms that it speaks about in Revelation. I can't get away from that. There's no other book that I can read, the Quran or whatever, that matches up to what's happening right now. But it's telling you right now, there's going to be the 10 kings, which the Club of Rome is setting up, Trump's setting up, and Russia and all this stuff. There's going to be 10 kings. I can't tell you the timeline. I don't,
And they turn their power over to him, don't they?
Yep.
I guess that's, yeah. So that's
and who do you think that person would be? The beast. I mean,
oh yeah.
This goes, here's where I want to go. If you don't want to go there, but then you have the QAnon movement, the Qs and the Anons.
Go for it.
These guys, if y'all don't follow this, and I'm just going to share some stuff with you of what they believe. They believe that Trump never left office.
Right. I'm glad you're getting into this. Go ahead.
He never left office. He's been a military president the 4 years that Biden and Kamala were in. They believe that Biden is an actor. There's so many actors. And now part of it, I kind of believe is because the Biden that was up in front of us was not the Biden of old. It was
no way, man. No way.
There's no way.
There's many of them. I've shown some of these Bidens.
There's many of them. And so they believe, and this is where I have a problem with the Q movement. So they believe that Trump never left. They made the military generals came together with this plan years ago. And they were going to be, he was going to be a military president, and the Biden and Kamala thing is a total op, is in front of the American people or whatever for 4 years. And so, and they believe that JFK Jr. is still alive. They believe Elvis Presley is still alive. He's Bob Joyce. They believe Michael Jackson is still alive. They believe Tupac is still alive. And they believe Melania Trump is Princess Di. That's what they believe. Okay. Now, so their thing is now that Trump is in, that he's going to fix all this problem, and he allowed all it, and we're going to see a movie. They believe that we're going to see this movie, and it's going to play out, and you're going to see the arrest, and you're going to see the tribunals and all of this stuff and everything. But here's the problem. The 4 years that supposedly he was the military president, who allowed the illegals into this country? He did. Who allowed the gas prices to go up and the Keystone Pipeline to be cut off? He did. Who allowed the inflation to go up, mortgage rates to go up? Who remember the Afghanistan debacle where they pulled everybody out and left
everything?
Yeah. See, that's the problem. You argue with them. Well, Biden did that. No. You said Biden is an actor. That's Trump. So here's the thing. I hate to say this, but this is a Hitler type scenario. Hitler destroyed Reichenbach. He burned it down himself. They burned it down himself. The people there begged for him and ushered in Hitler and the SS. So, I
see the mirror. I do.
He made Biden and everybody and the Democrats look so bad that you just begging for Trump to get in to save us. Med beds, cure the inflation. I can go on down the list of cure all of the food. We're going to Mars. Here's another thing. What have we been talking about? Okay, if he's been chosen by God and he's still going to Mars, You can't go to Mars. God, I don't know who you're listening to, Trump, because we can't go to Mars. We're not.
Man,
You see what I'm saying?
I do, and I'm glad you just put it out there like that, because people do need to keep that in mind. The whole Mars thing. Every time I see that, my eyes roll. It's like when I hear on a news story or something, 25 million years ago they discovered. Come on, y'all. Right? So
Exactly.
yeah, it's real critical thinking. I think that's what you and I try to do. And there's in these communities, and it's not even that we're perfect. We know this, but we're working on it. But yeah, to just be a real critical
Yeah.
thinker these
Think
days.
about. What's
Think
the
about it.
reason? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the whole thing. Is think about this. Um, you send two people to jail automatically for burning down, Elon Musk, Tesla, but we're having a debate. Then here's the other thing. They just told you that they stole from us. They stole all this money, right? And now
Right.
so we're going to have to check with Congress and pass a bill. Wait a minute. You're going to ask the robber to think about if he's going to return the money back to us? You see what I'm saying? There's no
I do.
critical thinking. And I don't know if the vaccines have
Oh,
affected people
we got to
because
be careful with that word. Sorry. Go ahead. No,
but
you're cool. Go ahead.
I've seen an uptick of no critical thinking
Oh,
since
big time.
COVID.
I think, yes. Hey, man, a big part of that, I do a Monday show. It's uncensored, and where I talk about all that stuff.
Okay.
And it's one thing I've shown the people, and that we know for sure. The side effects keep coming. I mean, every other week there's something new we find. Not only that, but there's a brain fog that comes with this, and people's
Yeah,
personalities are changing. Yeah,
they
there's
are.
testimonies of this. Yeah, so it is having a major effect on people's thinking and on their spirit and all of it, man. Yeah, like I said, I there's some religious folk I've talked to, even family in real life, and it's like I'm in a fishbowl. It's like we're living two completely different realities. It's incredible, but unfortunately, these are people who've taken the poison. So I wonder if that had a part of it too. But go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just saying the Q movement involves gematria, and that's that's not a good thing.
No,
Gematria
man.
numbers, and they can
In
be
fact, yeah, they can be manipulated. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
no,
off. I got
no,
all excited. Well,
and
go
yeah, go
ahead.
ahead.
No,
But
you
yeah,
finish your thought.
well, they can be manipulated, and I'm sitting on watching a video from one of these guys, and I won't mention because he's a lot of followers into the Q movement, and he runs the numbers. And on one of the things that he ran, it comes up in the numbers, Tartarian, Little
Oh
Caesar, and
boy.
all that. You see what I'm saying? So
Uh huh.
it's being manipulated, but I just keep quiet and just watch
Well, I want to share something about
go
that,
ahead.
about the numbers, because I've had an issue with this for many years. Jeff C. and I used to talk about this back in the day because we had issues with the same human. And he's a guy that I believe he's still around somewhere and still doing this thing with gematria. His name's Zachary Hubbard.
Oh my gosh.
And oh boy, now Zachary Hubbard, and I had a video on Scariest Movie Ever from 2014
Uh
that
huh.
said,
I know
that
this guy.
remember that? Yeah, him and Russian vids had hacked my social media. This is real story, guys. Long time ago.
Yep. I,
Jeff C told me, but dude, and even Zachary Hubbard made a website. This is years ago that said KJ Osborne equals 666, and he was using his gematria. Now let me explain something, folks. If you've ever tried a gematria, you should, because it is interesting. What it does is it gives you all of the positive and negative attributes of that number. And what people like this Hubbard does, he takes only the negative, right? And he kind of
yep.
mixes it in. And yeah, so, and he's another guy that tries to call stuff with numbers and always gets it wrong. But somehow the dude keeps a following. And I just know there's a lot of people aren't thinking out there, but go ahead.
I tell you why they follow him now is he does a lot of NFL games, gematria, and they use him to place bets. They think he has the numbers and everything like
Oh,
that.
really?
That he started that kind of back when it went down with you. I remember that, and I think I made he did a video to attack me or something,
I'm sure he did.
and then I made a video not of me talking. I just showed. Oh, I know what I did. I I took the clip that he predicted with the numbers and then what happened. And he had like 6 or 7 of them. He was just wrong. And I saved those videos. He took them down, but I saved them. And all I did was I just matched up, how I do my videos and just boom, blasted him. And it was like, he didn't tag me anymore. And then after about 6 months, I took the video down. It was on Zachary Hubbard. Exactly. Remember, he told the story too, is he had a car wreck and and
trying to get money.
I mean, it was so crazy. And then,
well,
go ahead.
No, I was going to say, he doesn't have to worry about money anymore, because a while back he popped in my mind again. I don't know why, probably a comment or something. So I kind of looked him up online and I found out he had a Patreon, and I went and took a look at it. Dude has, guys, no joke, dude had like well over 8,000 Patreon subscribers. Now, this guy's easily clearing over 10 grand a month. I've never seen that. I don't know about you, but now that makes sense to me. I'm glad you explained that to me. So that's why all the people, they're like, oh, this guy's going to help me make money. I get it now.
Yep.
Okay. I didn't get it at first, but now I do.
Yep. So they're doing that. And so, yeah, I can't believe, gosh, man, there was a lot of,
those are the crazy days. Remember the Truther Wars back then? I mean, Truthers attacking each other.
Yeah. I mean, I remember, oh God, what was his name? Oh my God, David.
Did he just have like 2 names, right? And he was the guy, and he was always putting out the craziest, weirdest conspiracy theories.
Yes, and people just slammed him. I mean, he had some good stuff. What was his name? They found out his real name. It was Rise. No, oh gosh, what was it?
Oh, was it? It was Rise. Maybe it was Dave from Rise. Is that, because that was a big deal too?
Yeah, that was a big deal. Yeah, so there was a lot of them. I remember still kind of every now and then hit up Enter the Stars. I never had a beef with Russian vids. A lot of people I know didn't like Call for an Uprising. I didn't have any beef with him pretty much. But, my thing is, back in the day, there was one thing that we all had in common. We could have argued and what belief system, whatever, but there was one thing we had in common. We're trying to show people you're being lied to, and that there's evil stuff going on and ritualistic stuff going on in this realm. So you know what I'm saying? Everybody was a little different, but we were all trying to wake people up of this is really going on, guys. This is stuff really does exist. And as I look back now, I'm glad that, maybe some of that made me stronger. That made me, I will tell you right now, when you came on, I had to up my game on videos that I put out. I did. I mean, and I'm trying to think of his name. Rise. He had another name when he first came out, but
something Round Saturn's Eye or something.
That's it. Round Saturn's Eye. I mean, when he came out, his videos were good. But here's one I'm gonna really throw you. That really, I believe, was the first of all of us. Scrawny to Brawny. That guy, I don't know where he's at. I don't know if you remember Scrawny to Brawny.
Man, I really liked him.
Yeah, Scrawny to Brawny. Remember his emblem? He had a little guy sitting on the wall and he had a crown off the. I mean, he came out with decoding. He decoded Back to the Future. Unbelievable.
Was Scrawny to Brawny is another one, or Adrenaline Junkie is another one.
Yep. And
go ahead.
Yeah, but there's a lot of them like that. That Red Pill, or whatever, that one was one.
Red Pill Revolution.
Exactly. Yeah. Remember this one, Sackcloth and Ashes.
Oh yeah.
Dude was so on. I mean, those were the things that made me go, wow, I got to up my game and just put more effort into it. They made me better seeing some of the stuff that. Yeah, you did too. And there was many times, guys, talking to your listeners, I'm going to tell you this has happened many times. I'll be working on something that KJ has no idea that I'm working on. And he'll text me or he'll put out a video that I'm stuck at putting this video. I'm like, I'm trying to put this video together. And he'll put something out that goes right in the video.
I love it. That's Holy Spirit. Love it.
It is. And that's how you knew. And that happened a lot. So anyway, I do kind of miss some of those times, but I just don't have that time that I do now.
Yeah, and the whole thing is gone. Unfortunately, the community thing of it's gone because there's not enough people left on YouTube, and so you can't
Yeah.
really. And I feel you. I would watch people's videos too and get inspired. And same thing, it's like, oh boy, I need to like really.
Here's two. You may not like them or whatever, but I remember. I'm going to just tell you, man. The whole flat Earth thing. I mean, ODD TV.
Oh
ODD.
yeah.
Man, he was another one that just, man, came out with videos and just bam. I mean, it was just like, whoa. I liked Richie from Boston. A lot of people didn't like Richie from Boston, but Richie kind of tried to cover everything and was kind of a newscaster type thing. He was in that later era with ODD-TV. But there was, who was True Stream Media? Remember?
Oh, they're still around.
Yeah.
But my issue with them, actually, you bring them up, is that, and I have kind of an issue with them and some of the other, kind of truther people. Before I do, somebody had a good point in chat. I looked over here. It says Sackcloth and Ashes is still around. Actually, it's Kajani Amari. I didn't even realize that, but I'm subbed to Kajani, and he's great. So look up. Yeah, Kajani.
Yeah.
But my issue with like Truth Stream and like even James Corbett, like truthers like that, like James Corbett blocked me from his YouTube channel. All right, just because I left a nice comment encouraging under a video. This is years ago. A lot of people responded, which was cool. And the next thing you know, he blocks me. So like that gave me I get this throughout the years. That's why I'm not bitter, but it's like throughout the years, that's why I'm just such a loner in all this now, because I've been backstabbed so many times. I've been turned on by people in the truth community. Oh yeah, it's ugly. And I mean, like Truth Stream Media, they never did anything bad to me. I'm just saying that my issue with a lot of the modern truthers is they're reluctant to talk about Jesus. They will not mention him. They're only focused on worldly truth things. Ooh, it's like, cool, we can uncover this stuff all day. It's great. I love doing it too. But dude, if you don't lead the people as a quote truther to the ultimate truth of Jesus Christ, there's a big problem there, man.
Yeah. See, and that is 100% that what you just said. I agree. Is why are they doing it, folks? And that's what I ask with everything that I did with the video or any other information. And I've spoke to this, I have, is, ooh, I can see the symbol of the pyramid and everything. Okay. So I taught my dog to find those in videos. So whoopee do. Why? Why are they doing it? Why are they doing the rituals? Why are they doing certain things? That's what was important. And I agree. The modern ones don't. They're identifying. Oh, look what we found or whatever. Well,
Yeah, cool. I mean, yeah, exactly. It's and that's just me. It's just a thing I have because of just the times right now and how serious it's getting and how the delusion's thickening. I just wish that more of these quote truthers, and again, a lot of them don't have Jesus. That's all it is. They don't believe, and well, it's unfortunate.
And for you guys that know me, but those for you who don't know me, is let me tell you something. I was the biggest skeptic that you ever want to meet. I did not believe in Jesus Christ when I started this journey. I didn't. I absolutely studied the Quran, Buddhism, Mormonism, Hinduism, the occult, which at that time I did not know that would help me. You know what I'm saying? Help me as a creator of some of the symbolism, just like swastikas. People think swastikas are from Germany. Man, they're all over the place. Swastikas are on Buddha. You know this. But see, that was the thing that I had to really, when I started was, and I think everybody should do this, is get outside of your comfort zone. Just because I grew up in Southern America or USA, and at that time, the dominant religion was Christianity. You need to expand your horizons, and a lot of Christians didn't like that. They didn't like, what are you studying occultism and you're studying this? And but the art of war is know thy enemy. You got to know. See, because people go, well, I don't believe that stuff. Look, just because you don't want to study Chinese and learn Chinese, the language, just because you don't want to do that, guess what? That doesn't make it not a language. It is. The occults speak in numbers. This backward stuff, symbolism. That's what they speak. whether you believe it or not. Sorry, but that's you got to know your enemy and what's going on.
Oh
Um,
yeah, I agree, man. And you know what a lot of it is, and that's another part of just something I've realized over the last few years, because I still grow in my walk too, and is just really the Lord has let me see more and more that there really is a clear division, that there really are people that that confess with their mouth, but their hearts are far from them. They don't really believe. It's like, and I mean, like, using it. Like, I have these conversations with people in my life when I hear them, like Christians I know, that family even, that may have issue with this or complaining about that. I'm like, pray about it, man. Like, pray, and don't just say the words, but believe, like,
yeah,
believe, pray and say, Father, in this situation, I know that you can do this, and there's no reason why not. I can't see. So if it be in your will, I'm going to believe in this. I'm going to believe for this. Like, I just, a lot of quote Christians, I don't think even do that. Like, really put it into practice, really connect with them, and just be real with them, and
yeah,
if
I
go ahead.
agree. No, I agree. And someone in the chat said gematria is God's language. I mean, you see what I'm saying? It's like, okay,
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
I mean,
now he does work through numbers, that's for sure. But again, like what I think, it's like how horoscopes and stuff like this, right? I mean, that's all like that's devilish stuff. It's all demonic. It's demonically influenced. But there's some truth in there too. There's some
yeah,
truth in gematria. There's some truth in there, but
mhm,
it's a copy, because the Lord does use numbers. I mean, He uses
yep,
them. Even in my life, I've mentioned, maybe, I don't know if you knew this or not, but the people that follow here, they know, but I've been seeing 111s since 2012. And now over the last almost year, man, even I looked on my phone, my mail was this number, but 911, I'm getting 911, like the last almost year all the time, along with my 111s. So that's why when I tell people, it's like, there's a reason for this. I'm not saying it because, oh, look how special, because we all have our communication with the Lord. But the 911 is important because that's how I know, man. Like, He shows me that kind of thing. And I know no matter what people say or do, or what movies are out or videos come out, no, man, I know that we're in that time, and I know that it's like beyond important for people to get saved. Like, make sure you accept that free gift, because I don't know when, but man, it's coming. Like, we're about to pop off,
and that's very important what you said, and people need to hear this. Is look, everybody is different with their journey, and what KJ and how he receives stuff from the Lord is different than the way I receive it, and different from everybody. And I think so many people think it's you do some formula, and that we all, we're all different because you. That's why I had to do my videos a little different, and I swapped them up. As you know, KJ knows this, is sometimes I would do a video with just text, and that was
Yeah.
it.
Oh, that's right.
Then
That's
then I
right.
would, then I would do with visuals, and then I started doing both, because look, there are people that receive information visually better than reading it or whatever that may be. We're all different, and some people, we're all different. And
Yeah.
once you understand that, and don't get frustrated with the Lord, because He knows you, and He knows how you can receive it better or whatever. Don't try to do the formula that, well, my uncle reads 40 scriptures a day and he's on the floor, and
Mhm.
that's not, it's not about all that.
And I
He,
agree. Yeah.
yeah, and people get caught up in that, and that's why sometimes I have a problem with, well, I've had a problem with organized religion for a long time, because
Sure.
they're not teaching um, the enemy. They're not teaching what's going on.
That even takes us back to Paula White, man. Paula White is right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, and that, if you ever want to see a religious spirit, folks, that's a religious spirit right
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
And that's really on the rise. That's caught on like a wildfire, is the religious spirit.
yeah.
I see it even just in people and in comments and messages, and it's there. That there is that division, y'all. There's a lot of deception. The best thing you can do, honestly, is just And again, I don't read my Bible every single day, but I do have a bookmark up all the time, so I'll sit there and reference in the morning. Sometimes I will, but whatever, everyone's got their walk. The Lord will work with you. And that's why I don't even I'm not with organized religion either. But a long time ago, when I try to talk to people about, how to get saved at the end of my shows, I realized, I don't want to tell people don't go to church, right
Right.
away, because I don't know what your path is. You may be such a baby in all this that you need that community for a
Yeah.
couple years or something. I don't
Yeah.
know.
You do, and that's right. And if it, that's the whole thing is, if that's where you need to be and that motivates you, makes you a better person to help other people and all that. I'm exactly on board with that. The only thing that I had a problem with was if we are in the end times, you need to know who the enemy is, what the enemy is, who the enemy is, and what's it about. And
Oh yeah.
that's my only thing. But and there's things in the Bible that, to me, the greatest story is the Bible, and there's so many things that are not taught correctly. And
And
I mean,
also,
go
oh,
ahead.
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to add something to when you're talking about how we have to show the evil. I get so much backlash sometimes online in messages, and I just recently, and it's always the same message. It's been for years. One of them is this: is that people will complain. Some people, because I think most people like what I do, but that are here. But some people will bitch and complain that I use modern music in my videos and stuff like this. It's like, if
Mhm.
you're stuck on that, get out of here, man. But see, like, and I know this too, that people take things visually. Some people do, and I'm one of those.
Mhm.
And if I can put the right song on with the right images, which I'm spreading truth, man, that is volatile in a great way. Like, that will put an imprint in someone's brain, and remember that while that cool song was going, though, I'm showing this, I've showed that, I'm
Mhm.
sharing that, I'm exposing. So it's a different level, and this too, because we're similar in a lot of ways. And it's a different level of sharing the truth with people. And the other message I get all the time, I just got this one a couple times this week, people complaining that I show too much like evil stuff or dark stuff, or like I showed the video they did at the soccer field there about 2 weeks ago. They had a Apollyon Rising with the pentagram. Did you see that?
I didn't see that one yet.
Oh God, it's crazy. Yeah, you should. But a couple weeks ago, it was like in a big soccer match, a whole side of the people like were holding little pieces up to create the picture. They
Oh
held
my.
up they held up a massive pentagram, and then they had the devil literally rising up out of it, like a huge. I don't know how they did that, but on the other side of the field, they would swing the camera, and on the other side, it was fire and chaos, like a little film of on top of the people, like fire and chaos. I was
Oh
like,
my.
I can't believe I see this, but so I showed that clip, 3-minute clip, and again, I got people who complain, why do you show this? And I told him, this one person, I said, look, there's no pussyfooting around here with me. I'm going to show you this. You look, we are warriors in Christ. You're a
Yeah.
conqueror through Christ, even though you don't feel like it all the time, because I don't feel like it every day. But you got to get beyond the feelings and just know what the truth is, and know the Bible and what it says about us. And we are strong, and we can cast demons out, which I've done in my life. I've told the people about that. I mean, we have power over these things through Christ. So stop being scared, man. Stop, like, stop
Right.
it, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, like, get
And,
tough.
and
Yeah.
and the Bible says we to expose it. That's what I don't
Yes.
get. Then that's the whole thing. He says expose it, and it needs to be exposed. And yeah, I kind of got that in the beginning, and but I'm like you. Notice this. Remember, there was no TikTok around. There was no Instagram when we started, and I believed at that time that this was way in the future. I really did. So I thought, okay, in order to capture the young people that this generation, what I was sharing with transhumanism, whatever,
Hmm.
you gotta catch them. They click on 7 seconds. I mean, if they click on a picture of a man sitting in a pew telling and preaching, they're going to click off. So
Exactly.
that's why I started the way I did, was catchy music, the text. I didn't show my face. I didn't even speak because I didn't want anybody to judge and turn off, because they go, oh, it's a white dude, click off. Or
Right.
he's a Southern guy, click off. This way, you didn't hear me. You didn't see me. You just got the information and went from there. And it's funny that I'm saying this in front of you, because you were the first one that I went on your show where people absolutely blew up and said, Nicholson, man, you need to speak on your videos. I and that's what started it. Your show did, actually, the first one. And
Wow.
So I spoke for a long time, but to this day, I have never on my videos. I still have not. I don't come on. I've done podcasts that I show, and like I went on with Z Media and some other things like that, and and I speak to them, and you see my face. But like on the videos I create or documentaries, you never see my face, and so.
Yeah, that's the way I've done it for years too.
Um,
I showed myself a while back on this channel. I don't know if you saw the video or not,
Yep,
but
6 months
actually,
ago. Yep, 6 months ago. It
it's
was.
been a while.
It's been a while. So,
It's funny, and I'll tell you, this is just how truly I am. Really, truly an introvert, like an extreme one. But because right after that, I was like, oh, maybe I'll pop on again and do this. But here it is, several months later. It's just truly in my nature, y'all. And I think most of the people get it that I don't like being on camera. I've always had a weird thing about being in pictures. My mom is someone who just won't stop taking pictures, and I'm a Cherokee Indian, and when I was little, I heard this story that Indians believed they didn't like taking pictures because they thought it would capture their soul. And that stayed with me my whole life. And I'm not saying
yeah,
it's true, but I
yeah.
don't know.
You never know. I mean, if you look at where we've gone and what things are truly amazing. I mean, let's take the cell phone. I mean, yep. I mean, that is a truly amazing piece of equipment that is part tech and part magical in a way. Like
Oh, yeah. Black Mirror.
I mean, you can speak into an instrument and somebody 3,000 miles away can see you and hear you. Folks, that is totally airwaves, and that is amazing
Frequencies.
frequencies and tones and so many things. I did not know it was going to come this fast, KJ. I really did not think it was going to be. I thought this was going to be
Me
like,
too. And I don't know about you, but I really live it. Like I have a tape over my camera on the phone, on my computer. I've got these things I bought that's supposed to help with Wi-Fi frequencies, radiation and stuff. I mean, I really do, man. I try and live it. I ground. I'm into earthing and grounding and stuff. And I
yeah,
stopped all medication. I had a couple heart attacks over the years, and
yeah,
the
I remember
last
that.
time, and they had me on like 12 medications. I've told people the story this before, but I'm on none of it now. I don't take anything from any doctor. I don't even go to appointments anymore. I just take
Amen.
herbs. I pray. I swim.
Yeah, I try to walk and do the best I can. I've got
What?
my regular job. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, it like in your family, do you share a lot of this like with your, the wife and the kids or anything, like your perspectives on the world, or do you keep that kind of at bay?
Um, it's kind of a mix because, well, I'll tell you this: they know about Greenland and Canada, that whole zone. Because I've told them for years. I said there has to come a time where the United States, Canada, and Greenland have to merge, and that's kind of getting close to the time. Um, and they all knew that. So when he starts talking that phone call, the phone lights up. Did you see that? I'm like, yes, whatever. So that's when I put out a video probably about 2 months
Yeah.
ago and did that. So, but in general, no, we don't. We know what it is. We sometimes we don't watch too much TV or movies because it's hard because they see some of the stuff I see now. Actually, that's what makes this community, and I'm proud of your listeners and subscribers as well. Is some of the things that we've shown, they've taken it and they share it and they decode things and
Oh
see
yeah,
it.
they're great. They bring their own pieces. I love it. You're right.
And that was the stuff that started that going back to doing my documentaries and stuff. That's what I really enjoyed too. Was like after I'd been out for 8 or 9 years, there were followers and still subscribers sharing stuff with me that they saw that I did not see. One, I didn't have time to see it, or even sometimes they're just as good of seeing things, and that's when man, the Holy Spirit's working. And people are seeing through the veil per se, and I just the Trump thing. I know I keep going back to it, but this
That's okay.
Trump thing is very it is a deception upon a deception. I mean, it is really thick. I can't
Very
believe it.
thick.
It's very thick, and it doesn't matter what the guy does and says. They're not
Well,
seeing.
even I'm sorry. Go ahead. I keep jumping ahead. I don't mean to do that. Please continue your thought.
No, that was it. I mean, there's some things that I agree with, and don't get me wrong, it's good, but just like anything, where's it going? Yeah, you see what I'm saying? You know,
I do.
I'm like, oh, digital currency. Guess what? You know, we're taking down the cabal, and they're not going to have any say over us. We'll be able to just send money straight to each other, and you won't need a middleman per se. Um, that sounds all great and dandy, but then here's
Yeah.
the thing: who's controlling the digital? That somebody's controlling digital, and if you don't play well and you don't read the things we want you to read or do what you want to do, I can just simply shut it off, and you don't eat, you don't buy,
That's right.
or you don't buy or sell. There you
Yeah.
go.
And
And
that's
that's
where Elon keeps pushing universal basic income, by the way. So
right. So yeah.
there's
So
that. Because
that
that's why. Yeah. They'll
yeah
control everybody.
yeah. So that's when I go down rabbit holes, I try to always put that in the back of my mind. Why? Why did they do this? Why? Ask
Well,
what's the purpose of
I,
this?
I
Go
I
ahead.
was going to ask you. I was going to ask you this too. Is I mean, speaking of all this and the Trump administration, the real question here is: are you going to be a good husband and father and make sure your family get their real ID on May 7th?
um, um, no, I mean, I do have my real ID because of my job that I do have, but my family no. So I know.
Yeah, I think
Um,
that it's not that huge, but it is a first step for
it
sure.
it
Getting
is a
people used to the idea.
it is, and the first steps were people that have been with us for a long time. That was my first video. My first video I ever did was the microchip is not the mark of the beast. It is a stepping stone to get you used to putting stuff into the body. Because they sold the microchip in the beginning as safety. If you get lost or you have Alzheimer's, we can find. If you wander off, you can find him. Then through the years, medically, they put that in there. If something goes, wrong, that alerts the healthcare system. That's where eventually it is going. But the microchip per se was not the mark of the beast. Everybody thought I was crazy. Just no. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, I'm
Oh,
like,
that's
yeah.
great. I'm glad you know what that reminds me too of way back when I first started too. All the kind of nasty troll crap you get in the very beginning when you're putting out these ideas that are a little bigger than the norm. Yeah,
Yeah.
I totally remember those days, man. But then it was crazy because then we saw the explosion of truth on YouTube, like that massive where it just got huge for a couple years, and I mean it was just really blowing up,
It
right?
was.
And then came the censorship around 2016, and then people started dropping off and getting demonetized and getting kicked out, and it's been a crazy ride, man.
It was. I mean, um, you know,
But that's cool that your first video was that subject though, and look at where we're at now.
look
So
right now.
it's a great
So,
place to start.
you know, um, I don't know how close we are. I just know that that agenda is still everything they are doing. Digital currency, the health with RFK. Um,
All of it. I feel imminence. I feel in my spirit, man. For again, man, that's why I've isolated so much. But like the last year has just been, I feel imminence. I feel like intense a lot of times during the day, and it's just when I'm thinking about it and talking to him, I don't hear his voice audibly, y'all, but in your spirit, you feel things and sense things, and I
yeah,
just know that, like I said, man, my feeling in my gut to when I do these shows and my videos is just to make sure and tell people, man, time's running out. We're right at the door, y'all. They're getting everything really, really good and set up right now, and
they're kicking stuff. They're kicking the can down the road. There's no reason. We'll go back to the QAnon things.
yeah,
Well, their whole thing about the children supposedly trafficking, and they just don't want to release it to the public yet, and they're not ready for it.
right.
Let me tell you something. If I lived in a community, the world, whatever, and someone was trafficking my daughter, raping my daughter, and mutilating my daughter, murdering, all this stuff. I do not care who's ready for it. I mean, it's so, I mean, some of the stuff is just asinine. It is just unbelievable of what all it is. The QAnon movie is to keep people quiet and calm while we put stuff in place.
Yes.
That's all it is you've got, hopefully you'll agree with me, but one, you've got distractions all over the place. I mean, we're going to Fort Knox visit. We got drones that we never got explanation on.
UFO drones, right?
Remember the monkeys that got loose in North
Carolina? What happened to them? Yeah.
I mean, it's all a Katy Perry thing, the space. It's just all over the board. I mean, just crazy stuff. So you've got that going on. Then you have the Q movement that think they are so in the know. They know everything that's going on, and Trump's got everything under control, and it's going to play out. And it's, all of this stuff. Cash Patel was going to come in and give us the list. Still don't have it. 4 minutes later, nothing. It's absolutely no arrest. And then they have the excuse that Clinton's already dead. The Obamas are already dead. Everybody's been Gitmo'd. We're tribunals. I mean, and there's no proof of it. There's none whatsoever. Sorry. And
it's true. In fact, I'm so, yeah, man.
Go ahead.
No, I just got a lot of different thoughts on this. Just where people go with that stuff, and how many people are getting trapped in all these different little areas, like the Q stuff, and then you got the preterism thing, and
I got to ask you this one. Okay, so let's go to UFOs and aliens.
Yeah, I love that subject.
So, I mean, we all kind of knew this was coming, the whole alien drone thing, or what aliens are being talked about more. People that can't get on board with flat Earth. Let's take the flat Earth thing. Okay. So you just go off and you end off. You got to understand this. Why would NASA, who is made up of 33rd degree Masons, every single thing about them, their names of their missions, Apollo, all of them are Romans names. The latest one, you turn you turn their badge upside down, and it's a Baphomet.
That's right.
Okay, so you've got NASA, who's made up of 33rd degree Masons,
bunch of liars.
Yeah, I mean, and Freemasons and everything like that. What would be the purpose of them telling you a lie that we're on a spinning ball, spinning millions and millions of miles, whatever, all through millions of galaxies, and all of this stuff, versus we live on a stable, flat, circular, with pillars underneath, the firmament above, the waters above, and the waters below, which that's what the Bible says was separated. Yep. Okay. So what would be the purpose of that? And the purpose of that is not to believe in God, that he is up here and earth is the footstool below. And the alien lie that's going to come, that they've been building up for decades, that of aliens, which are not aliens, they're actually Nephilim, which that goes on another subject as well. But but you see that's where it goes back to, remember I was telling you, anything that I believe in, okay, I'm going to believe in the flat earth. Why the lie? And the lie is they want you to believe that you're insignificant, that we're just a little bitty pebble right here and we don't mean anything. And that's not true. We're very important. That's the whole thing.
Well, I'm really glad you brought up the subject, and I'll tell you exactly where I'm at with it. Because so in the beginning, I used to be very hardcore against it. In fact, I'm even still not crazy when some people get into the conversations in my chat sometimes, because it gets real divisive, But what happened was this. So, and I've shown people this, okay, but I've also come to a different understanding over the last few years. I don't really know if it's necessarily all flat, but I don't feel like it's the ball, because again, it doesn't make any sense. I get that. And even in the very beginning, I figured it was something else. But the flat earth thing, the reason I have stood so hard against it in the beginning is this goes back to me and Jeff C. We're talking about this 2015.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere, man, on my videos, and I never talked about the flat Earth. I'm getting like half of my comments are flat Earth, and it's nonstop, and it just came in like whatever. So I wound up going to Google Trends. Where you can go to Google
Mm-hmm.
Trend, and you can look up any subject and look up when it first started, how long it's been, how hot it is, how whatever. And I put in flat Earth, and sure enough, it was a dead flat subject, if you will, all the way up to October 2015. And it shot up to like 90 something percent and just cruised.
Wow.
So, right. So when I saw that, I knew that for some reason this was being pushed, into the truth community. And Jeff C. and I both, he'd be like, man, I'm getting it too. And other people, I'd see it. And they would thumbs down your videos, man, like in mass. If you said something against them, you'd get 50 thumbs down within 10 minutes. It was crazy. So
Wow.
that's kind of what I was going through. Now I went through that for a couple years to where it really turned me against flat earthers big time, man.
Yeah.
And I kind of maintained that for years, but over the last, couple years, again, I don't think it's a dumb ball exactly. It doesn't fully make sense to me. The other planets are balls, but it doesn't. I get that, and it could be something else, maybe like in the middle, like I don't know, an oval or something. I don't know.
I agree with you there. I know it's flat, but I don't know what the shape is. And
Right.
And anybody that looks up Admiral Byrd, Admiral Byrd went beyond Antarctica, and he told you what he found. The videos are still out there if you can find them. But I believe that there's land that we're not being told.
Oh yeah,
I do.
Past the ice wall. Past the ice wall. I've seen it. That's interesting stuff.
So I agree with you. On I don't know exactly I don't think it's a ball. I don't think it's just a circular, flat, whatever. There's a shape, and there's more land than it's been hidden from us. And then, I think you did a video on it, but I think every president, when they become president, within the first month or two, they go to Antarctica. I don't know if you knew that, but they go there.
Oh yeah. The UN has a base there with a big star or a star of Lucifer on it. Yeah. So it's real.
So there's something to it,
I'm with that for sure, man. Like in fact, sorry, but quickly, just the whole reason I even started kind of thinking a little different about it is because over the last couple of years, I've realized the proof of the firmament. It's through a lot of you can watch some of Elon Musk's rockets hit off of it, y'all. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah,
you see the waves, man. Like so. Yeah. Anyway, I prayed about it too. So I more and more I'm like, okay, so obviously the firmament's there. I see that, but okay. So go ahead.
No, so it's things like that we're talking about in the scripture and things, and there's things that I was going back to organized church, and like there's things in the one of the reasons I started the journey was there's just things that Chronicles, I think it's Chronicles 3:16. It says, Jesus says, "Don't you know you will judge angels one day?" So those are the things that make you think, okay, he just told me that I will judge angels one day. Well, we're not going to judge good angels because they're good angels. So we're going to judge bad angels. So then you have to ask yourself, what did the bad angels do? See, and most preachers cannot even ask that question. They never preach on it. They never preach on the Nephilim. They're not putting the whole story together. It's just
never.
And that's where Genesis 6:4 comes into play with the Nephilim and the fallen angels who came down and did what they did. That's really what's going on, y'all. This is just my belief. Okay. Look at all the different nationalities we had. If we all came from a white guy and a white girl, Adam and Eve, why are we not all white? And I'm just putting it into layman's terms. If you want chocolate milk, there has to be something added to it. It can't, the milk's white, but if you want it brown, if you want it yellow or whatever, something mixed with it. And that's where the fallen angels came in and commingled with humanity to get different offshoots of. That's just my belief. And that's why you're going to judge angels, because, and think about it, if you're Satan and you know who's coming to kill you, you know, the Son of Man has to come and kill you, right? Jesus. He has to come through a virgin vessel, not of another man. That's why it's immaculate. That's why it's so important that he placed that in a pure vessel. So what do you do to try to deter that? You mess with humanity's gene pool and mess it all up and mix it. So that's, you know, that makes sense of what's going on with what the fallen angels did and Satan did. And Jesus had to overcome it. You know, he had to come through, show you the way, literally follow him. You become as a man, you die as a man. You follow that. They thought they were killing him, but he really won because he died. And same thing with us. You're not losing when you die. You're just moving on to the next stage of what the Creator has put in motion. And he showed you how to do that. That's just me.
No, it's great.
I mean, you know, it's pretty much that simple, you know. And what Satan is doing is trying to make you a better man. He's trying to make you a transhuman, and that's not God's way. And that's
that's his answer to immortality, right? For the people. As we know, the Luciferians think, and all the talk on fallen angels. Yeah, we could definitely get into the whole thing with that too. We can go back to the UFOs, but before that, I don't know. You know, I'm also friends with Jonathan Kleck, and
oh wow, oh my gosh, I'd forgotten about him. How's he doing?
Oh, he's great, man. He's still doing good. He gets attacks too, but he's still out there and doing good, man. I mean, we talk every now and then. I've known him for like 10 years now. I've been to his home several times. We are friends. So, but that's a whole other rabbit hole with the fallen angel thing with Jonathan. And if y'all want to, some of y'all know.
Tell him hello when you see him. So Nicholson says hello. I've never spoke with him, but I always, man, you remember that decode, his initial decode on the Egyptian. I mean, that initial decode of the Egyptian.
Oh yeah. I was showing the creature inside the head. That's famous. Yes. In fact, first time I met him, I went to his home. The first time I went to his home, he had that. Yeah, he had that picture up, all blown up, and he was so excited to show me. I'll never forget. And I was just loving it. I was like, that's great. Do you understand what this is? I was like, yeah. But see, what's funny is I didn't at first understand some of the things, but I understood a lot of everything else because he did great things against Obama and some other things out there. Yeah. And it's all been, as far as I'm concerned, 100% awesome. But then as a friend there for a few years, I didn't understand some of it. But anyway, I get it all now. And I don't talk about it a lot because that's his stuff to share and explain. I'm not a preacher of that, but
up down, the upside down sheep and everything. I mean, it was great. I was like, wow, I didn't see that.
Yeah, I will though. I'll say hi to him, for you. And yeah, he's still doing good. But man, he's a fighter. You know, he gets attacked and has a hard time just getting videos out. And that's what it is. You know, it's crazy, man. I don't know who somebody within the last years, if somebody I was talking to that's religious type, and they were asking about things, and I got into some spiritual warfare stuff and started explaining some of the attacks I've had and even some of the supernatural things that have happened. And, they were just giving me this, again, it was that religious spirit, like, now, are you sure that this happened? Yes, I'm sure, but anyway, I don't want to start rambling on, but go ahead, man. You know what I want to say too? That was really cool that you got to do that interview with Maria Z, man. I've been following Maria Z for a couple of years over on the Uncensored show. I share a lot of her clips. What subjects were you talking about with her? Were you just kind of getting to know each other, or did you have anything you're sharing in particular?
She reached out to me, and was just getting into the transhuman thing, and everybody was telling her you need to talk to Nicholson1968.
Yeah.
So
that's great.
That was that, and then we discussed back then. I told her, when Trump gets in the second term, he's going to be pushing cryptocurrency and digital currency, and here we are. So she's probably going, gosh, man, that was way back then. He told me, but it's not that I knew like I'm pathetic, but it's just, you just know how it's going to go. What the final game is the battle for the temple of God. But so
yes,
we just talked about transhumanism, decoding. She says, I love you how you decode things and music videos, movies, whatever that may be. And she just kind of asked me how I got into it, and which, what started it off yeah, I think you kind of know, but some of the followers might not know. But what started my whole journey was 9/11. Um, I had a dream, and when I was little, I would dream and I would write things in a pad by the bed.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, and that's when the 1XX1, which if you see that anywhere, that's originally from my dream or whatever. But anyway,
Nice.
I had the dream in 1998, and I wrote 1XX1. Had no idea what it was, and put it away. And then, of course, 9/11 happened in 2001. Still didn't get it. 2004, five, I think. No, four. I was moving, and I had the pad, and I opened it up and was looking through there, and I found that 1XX1. What was interesting is what I was studying with the Christian Bible. This goes back to a resurrected Roman Empire.
Mhm.
Just like the Super Bowl is always in Roman numerals.
Yeah.
Any municipal building, old municipal building in the United States on top is a Roman god. Period. You look it up. You just it's there.
Yeah, good point. And also the 1X1's another 111. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So it was 1XX1. I was like, wow, that's Roman numeral, but what is that 9/11? And I'm like, wait a minute. And I date them. I'm like, wait a minute. So I dreamt of a Roman numeral 9/11 in 1998, and then so I'm like, well, maybe there's something to this. And I watched, and you can't even find it. I remember it used to be all over YouTube. You remember the documentary Loose Change with
Oh yeah, Luke Rudkowski.
Yeah, I watched that. And for those who you don't know my background, but I think KJ does, but part of my background is chemical. And so I watched the video, and there was one thing in it, man, it just blew me away. It's impossible. Jet fuel does not burn certain material. That's why they put it in buildings, because for safety. And you're watching this documentary, it said the plane crashed, it burned through all this stuff, and it collapsed and everything. And I'm thinking to myself, there's no way possible. Only because, not what they said, is because of what I know and my real life job. And I was like, that's not possible. So it made me think. And this is where people, if you don't hear anything I said tonight, listen to this. You have to come to a point, and you have to say to yourself, put your ego aside, put your pride aside, and go, man, can I be deceived? Can I be deceived? And yes, you can. And I'll tell you, once you come to that point where you realize, man, I can be deceived, and then you start walking a little more careful and see the world in a little bit different way. And at that moment, I'm like, man, have I been deceived about the story of 9/11? And that started the journey on researching 9/11 and the truth and conspiracies. It led me to Skull and Bones. It led me to Christ, secret societies. And that's where you have to really get that ego and pride aside and really, man,
that's a good point. Well, humble yourself.
Yeah, I'm still learning. See, here's the thing, folks. I am still learning. I've been doing this a long time. I do not know everything. I still learn. Like the whole thing with the flat earth. Well, I was like KJ. I was just adamant against it. The Tartarian thing. Okay, I could have shut it down and go, whatever, but I didn't. I studied and go, okay, is the Tartarian kingdom, are we in the little season of Satan? Are we? Okay. I didn't just take it on face value. I dig in and do the research. A lot of people don't do that. They depend on people in a pulpit. They depend on people in YouTube. They depend on people on TikTok, and they don't do the research themselves. And that's where you have to, and KJ will know that, you have to dig in yourself. I want to know myself if I can figure it out or whatever. And that's when I, dug into the Bible and I go, okay, wait a minute, the timelines don't add up. That information is out of here, and I'm still learning. There's certain things that I've put on the shelf. I used to kind of believe in aliens. So things are kind of moving.
Oh, good. I feel you. No, you're right. We're all still a work in progress. And, neither one of us have ever tried to act like, we're the know-it-alls and know everything. But on the other hand, we do have our own gifts, and we are able to see some things, and that's
Yeah.
really important, to pull it up and shine some light on it. And yeah, but no, the UFO thing, man, I've been on that for years, man. I mean, I was making
I,
videos
I mean,
warning about this. Go ahead.
I mean, explain. I want to hear where you are now with the aliens or UFOs. Do you believe?
Oh
I
man.
kind of want your cliff notes on that because like you said, it ebbs and flows. You may take a piece of information here and go, "Ooh, my belief in this is a little." So, what do you believe right now with the alien UFO thing?
I've been pretty dead set for a real long time that it was quote demonic, but now where we're at, and I every week on one of the shows I show people clips from a channel called Mavi UFO Alarm, who I'm a big fan of. They do a great job on compiling UFO clips every week, every day. And so what we find over the years is that there's a few different types. So there's the government type that are obvious, like man-made. There's the looks like reverse engineered type things that are
Uh-huh.
happening out there right now. And then of course there's the entities, the shapeshifters. They can, and I showed people clips of this, that there's actually videos from New Jersey that you would actually see an orb, and then you'd see it transform into a helicopter, a plane, a drone. Dude, like, so these are shape-shifting demonic entities or fallen angel entities, however you want to put it, possibly a mix, right? But they're up there and they're a part of the deception, and they've
I,
been showing themselves for years, right? But here's the cool one: there's a certain type of UFO. I call them the ghost lights on the show. We've been seeing them for over 2 years now,
mhm.
and they show up all over the world, man, in all these different places, and they just maneuver in weird ways. They look like a bunch of spotlights, but they dance and move, and there's choreographed movements. But I'm convinced now that that's a part of Project Bluebeam we've been
Yeah,
watching. That yeah, because they've been doing it all around the world, and that's what they do. It's part of the psyop. Is people everywhere, I saw a UFO, so
and I think too is later on is this is the fallen technology, the things that we weren't really supposed to know about, that was taught to man, war and all of these technology, where it comes from. And um, I believe it's possible of these things that are
oh,
just,
it's here.
I mean, they're light years ahead of us. I mean, the things that were being shown, um, I mean, the technology that we think we have is they've got way
Yeah.
beyond. It's crazy. I mean,
Well, it's about to be the show, man. It's coming. I mean, okay, so here's the rest of it, real quick, on kind of the UFO. Well, not real quick, but here's the
yeah,
UFO thing. So what I
I'm
think's
all ears.
coming is just my personal belief after everything I've seen. People who follow me for a long time know who I believe the Antichrist is. I believed it for 10 years. Still believe it, and it's Obama. And again, it's okay. We can have remember this too,
No,
guys. And
it
I
could
always say
be
this, but yeah, we can have differences of opinions as brothers and sisters in Christ, but we have Jesus
Jonathan.
in common, right?
Jonathan Click, you know, did prophetic over that years and
Oh
years ago. Go
yeah,
ahead. Yeah, yeah. So go ahead, and he's still in the mix
oh
behind the scenes.
yeah.
Go
He's
ahead.
great. He's great. Yeah, he helped with the Obama stuff, but even on my old channel, I had like a dozen videos on Obama, things I was seeing. So anyway, and it still to this day it won't change. But anyway, what I see coming, all right, guys, just kind of my own personal perspective, that the rapture comes. The Lord comes for His bride in the clouds, not on earth. He doesn't set foot here, but He takes us. The restrainer leaves. The UFOs. That's going to be the big story they come in with. People have been having dreams and visions of this also for years, but then they're going to come out with, oh, the UFOs took them. Now, exactly why, I'm not sure. There's different theories and thoughts on this. I've got many, but so they're going to say the UFOs took all the people. And then I believe that soon after that, that Obama's going to come in. He may come in because the aliens are going to ask for him, like something like that. Maybe they're going to come down and they're going to meet with him because UNICEF did a commercial. And good luck, people trying to find this one. I'm glad I had a copy, and I've showed it in videos before, and I still have it. It was so darn hard to find, man, the copy of this. But UNICEF did a commercial a long time ago about a tall, white, beautiful female alien coming down with Obama, and both of them together walking together side by side and stopping war and ending climate change. Right, for real,
Uh,
y'all. Yeah. So, and that one disappeared. So
I,
I've still got it. I'll show
yeah.
it again in another
I,
video soon.
all right.
Go ahead.
I got another scenario with Obama who enters the. Okay.
Okay.
Notice Trump is trying to change to get a third term. If he so if he changes that, I'm telling you, Obama's like, okay, if he's running for a third term, I can run for a third term. Wouldn't that be a
Right.
scenario in 28?
There
Trump
you go.
and Obama.
Yep, I saw that. Good one.
I mean, that could be a scenario right there.
I love it.
Uh,
And again, I may be off on the UFO thing with Obama
but
because
it
the
could
other
be,
side of that
could
is,
be.
is Obama to me is looking more and more like the Mahdi also.
But
So
but but who
there's that.
knows? In 2 or 3 years, we may be there may be a real problem with the aliens or whatever, and bring him in to talk. I mean, there could be.
It's a maybe, and we'll see. As you know, it's
We'll
okay.
see.
We're just conversing and throwing ideas out there. I have
But
nothing solid,
but,
but
but it is a possibility. I tell you.
possibilities. We'll see.
Mhm.
But yeah, a lot of people have different thoughts and theories on who the man is, and a lot of people are thinking Elon now, and a lot of people thinking Trump and all this. But there's also many antichrists the Bible talks about in these
Mhm.
days, and there really are, and so we're seeing them all around.
I find
But
it
yeah,
interesting that Michelle's kind of exiting
yeah,
that whole thing.
yeah.
That's that's very that's telling too. It's just I mean, it's a
I,
lot of stuff going on. I mean,
I'd addressed that. I told the people I think that possibly again, if I'm right, if those of us who believe Obama's going to be the man is right, then that's what's going to happen. It's like because if he's going to be quote God, a God here on this earth, because he's going to proclaim himself in the temple, right? So if that's going to be, he doesn't need a wife, or something. He's going to be like God, right? So
and then that would make Trump really the last president.
oh yeah, and there's so much predictive programming on that
Yeah,
one too, on
So
him being the last trumpet.
trumpet, yeah. So I mean, um, what do you? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I have nothing. Go ahead. I was just breathing.
Okay, so here's the other thing that people I don't get people the critical thinking that people come out and go, there was this book, it was written in 1835 that he was a time traveler and Baron Trump and all this stuff.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
Ingersoll Lockwood. Yeah,
okay, that whole thing. Okay, so the whole thing, you know, how do I say this? Just because they told you the book was back in 1830 doesn't mean the book was in 1830. You see what I'm saying? It's like
yeah,
you can create something. Like right now, I can go on Chat GPT right now, and I can create a photograph of a giant with a man, make it look vintage. I can tell it exactly what I want it to create, and it'll
yeah.
create that. And just you know what I'm saying? It's just people who are still stuck in what what you see is what you get. No, sometimes what
Yeah.
you see is not what you get.
It
It's not.
reminds me. Yeah, it reminds me too. There is some interesting things with Ingersoll Lockwood. That's a whole other. I don't know if you've ever saw a couple of videos or the shows I did over the last month with Kim, and she's a survivor of a family bloodline and suffered some MK Ultra, unfortunately. But she's
I saw
really
part of
deep.
that, but go ahead. Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
no, she's deep on these subjects and had actually some great stories on Ingersoll Lockwood too. But no, I totally feel you. You're right. We're at the time. It's so easy to deceive. It's easy to make fake videos. I got to be careful every week because I'm sharing so many clips with people and make sure that it's not something someone created. And I showed an example maybe just a few weeks back of the latest. I don't know what it's Open AI, I think it's called, where you can create. And oh my gosh, man! Like I said, guys, we're at a time now like already and very quickly coming in more and more where some 12-year-old kid can sit in his bedroom and create one of the most amazing looking films you've ever seen in your life
Exactly.
on AI.
I mean, I know changing the subject, but what did you
Now, go
think
ahead.
about? What did you think about the Pope and the whole Christmas thing and opening the doors and all of that stuff? I mean, was that not just
I
weird?
think it was a ritual. I think it's symbolic of opening
Go
the
ahead.
gates of hell. It goes back to the soccer game, the gates of hell open. Here comes Apollyon. Here comes the devil. It's more, and I see so much of that, and I've shown some of that. But there's a lot of this symbolism out there of the pit opening of it. It's open now, and he's coming in, and he's coming out, and it's time. So again, that goes back to that feeling of imminence. I wish I didn't always have because it's not. It's a nervous feeling, man. But it's like, and
Yeah.
the 9/11s I keep getting. That's why I just feel it's an urgent push. And just tell people, man, get Jesus quick. All right, y'all. Like, get him quick because I don't know when, but it's something's coming quick.
I mean,
Maybe
that
big.
to me, um, the whole Pope thing, when I heard it, I didn't believe it. I just saw like an absurd of what it was coming. Um, that's when I kind of I turned to another. That's how I say it in my life. Of I'm like, okay, they're really getting blatant with the rituals and stupidity now. I mean, that to me, I've not really. I try not to watch too much news, but that one was like, folks. I mean, that's like, are you? I mean, that's like right in your face, big time of what he was doing and stuff. I'm like, man, they're not even hiding it. They haven't really been hiding it per se, but now it's like, it's like
Yeah, well,
nightly news. Pope opens the door for Satan. I mean, they're just coming out and saying it. I mean,
here's another example. I don't know if you saw this, but Lady Gaga did a straight up
oh,
satanic ritual on Saturday Night Live. There was no jokes or laughing. It was all like a straight up ritual to a demon.
yeah, yeah. What's his name walked off? I think didn't he? Didn't he just?
Yeah, yeah. And then the country western guy walked off.
Oh, man, yep, I saw that too. I'm like, geez, man, no hiding it, no
No
nothing.
hiding it. Yeah, it's just gonna
Um,
just more and more, man. As this as the divide grows more and more between the sheep and the goats and the wheat and the tares, well, and then even along that line, along the last couple of years, well, the past 12 months, about 12 months ago, we got the story of demon face syndrome, which is one
yeah,
I'm really excited about, right?
yeah,
And because I, for years, have been showing people clips of people shape shifting, and I believe the demon seed amongst us, if you will, the tares,
yeah.
and yeah, and now it's a thing. It's a demon face syndrome, and I mean, I found some pretty good clips on those, and so I'm always looking for that too. Always looking for
You
more of the
know,
shapeshifters.
and people need to understand this too. Is God is allowing this for people to wake
Yeah,
up. See, people don't want to believe that. No, no, no. He is. Sorry, he really is allowing to get people to wake up of what's going on. And I mean, think about it. If he wanted to off Satan now, he would. And that's the whole purpose of Revelation, with the 1,000-year reign. That he's bound up. Think about it. He's bound up. God doesn't kill him. He is bound up for 1,000 years. You know the truth, then he releases for a little season. And then if you run back to him knowing that you know the truth, then that's when you're going to get punishment. That's when there's the great white throne judgment. And that all
man.
makes sense. It
Yeah.
makes sense. Because see, that's God is the father. Think about this. If you have a kid and he runs out in the street, do you go snatch him out of the street and start punishing him? And he doesn't know. He may not know why he shouldn't go in the street. That's when you sit him down, 1,000-year reign, or sit him down and go, son, this is why you don't do this and you don't run in the street. Now, he's had that talk. You've heard the truth. And then guess what? He starts running in the street. That's when the punishment comes. That's when the whipping comes, whatever you want to call it. That's how it should work with the father and the son, and that's how the Bible explains it.
That's a beautiful way to put it. Thanks,
Right.
man.
I mean, and it's that simple. And
Well,
I hate the way things have been twisted with
yeah,
the Bible and making God some God of war and all of this stuff, and it's not. It's and I'll challenge people. And look, every time in the Bible that God asks to wipe out the Rephaim, look, they're all giants. They're all see. This is why it's important to teach the correct way. Is God was asking to wipe out not the Yahweh created man and woman. It was the ones that had been mixed and giants and stuff like that. Like David killed a Goliath. He was a giant. His brother was a giant. You remember the story of Joshua where he sent him over there as a scout, and he came back and he goes, "We look like grasshoppers in their sight," because they were giants. See, that's the truth. God didn't want people fighting people. It was his people fighting the Nephilim and their offsprings and whatever. It's all through the Bible. That's what it is. It's not what you've been taught. And there's a lot
It's
of
pretty.
things like that. Yeah.
That's really cool because in a way, like we're still doing that. Even you and I, just trying to fight the system online. You know.
Exactly. You know, so I've got some other things with that, but that you may not agree with. But as far
It's
as
okay.
well, I will tell you this one. This one's kind of an
Yeah,
interesting one. There's a
throw it
story.
out there.
Okay, there's a story in the Bible with Saul and David, and during this time, notice that God wanted His people circumcised. Why would He do that? And remember what I said on the first of this interview. You're going to do that. Let's find out what's the real reason for that to be circumcised. Okay, and it's what connecting the dots are. Okay, so in the story, Saul says to David, if you want to please me, I want you to go and conquer 400 of my enemies and bring me their foreskins. Okay, he didn't say bring me their head, their arms, legs, whatever, their foreskin. Okay, and the reason why, and here it is, you have to put it all together of what the story has been going on, is the reason he did not want the women lying with the enemy because they were a mix, they were not pure. So by them circumcising themselves, that meant you knew that they were of God and not a mix of a giant or whatever. That's why Saul asked David to bring back the foreskin specifically. That's why.
That's interesting. I never thought of that.
And that's it. And people go, where did you see that or whatever? See, look, here's the thing with conspiracies, or not conspiracies per se, but the elite, notice what we're talking about tonight. The elite speak through numbers. They speak through backwards letters.
They hide.
Right. They're not going to, there's no documentary of how I'm going to take over the world. I mean, where do you find that? What textbook? That's not how they operate. That's why everything is passed down through secret societies and spoken to each other and through numbers and whatever. There's no trace of it. And they do that on purpose, obviously. There's things in the Bible that, if taught correctly, you would figure out why we get to judge angels. You figure out, where did all the races come from? Something got mixed with humanity. And, you start figuring out why the Egyptian stuff is on the back of your dollar bill and the Egyptian stuff is the obelisk in England, in Washington, D.C.
Everywhere.
And it's because of what they knew, their technology and mixing. And what did I speak of in the book of Jasher? The mixing of animals with humans. Well, what do you think the Sphinx was? And look at all their carbons. It's man and animal mixed or whatever, and provoking the Lord, things that they were not supposed to to do. And where did they learn that from? Fallen angels. That's where that came from. And a lot of people say, well, they're angels. They can't take on. Yeah, they can take on form. They have to choose to do that. In the Bible, many times they took on forms, like the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, where the two angels were there, and everybody wanted to have sex with them, and he said, "No, you can take my two daughters, but not the angels here." So, and then the old saying, "Be careful, you may be entertaining angels," that kind of biblical thing.
Yep.
So you can't have it both ways. They either can take physical form, Christians, or they can't. And if you believe the Bible specifically talks about angels that took on physical form. That's when, so anyway, that's it.
No, I love that subject. I mean, it even goes back to Jonathan's work too, in a lot of ways, but yeah, no, I'm with that. Go ahead, man.
No,
good
that's
stuff.
It. I mean, it's just, and once you realize that that's what it's really about, is just to fight for the temple of God and tampering with it and, trying to rewire it per se. Because right now we have free will. That's it. We have free will. And sometimes people don't like that. I want you to take the reins, God, or whatever. No, He gives you free will. and you have the guide, you have the guidebook. And and a lot of people don't feel comfortable with that. They want someone to lead them, and that's where the Trump thing comes in. Is they don't want. It's an old story that's been told about Saul as well. Is the people chose a physical king over God Himself, and they didn't want that. They wanted the physical king, and how did that work out? And that may happen
So
here.
true.
So true.
Oh, it is, man. It's totally a cycle. It's happening again.
And
Yeah.
yep, it is. But the
Well,
Bible is a great story. If it's told correctly to a certain degree, it's just fascinating. But anyway,
yeah. All the weird stuff always stands out to me when I'm reading the
mhm,
Bible.
I like
But
that.
I do too. I love it. I was going to say this too. I'd never talked to you before we started about how long you could go, but we're at 2 hours. I know you're with family and all, so I just wanted to ask how you doing. If you need to bounce. Maybe a
No,
few
I'm good. I'm,
minutes.
I'm I'm good. I mean, as long as it doesn't get boring for the
No.
subscribers or you. I mean, we're good. I mean, we can talk about. I mean,
Yeah,
like I
it's
said,
not boring at all. I was actually going to ask you. Okay, so then what do you think? Since again, we know everything. There's nothing new under the sun. Everything works in cycles, and we're back to where fallen angel technology is upon us. Then and they're already creating hybrids. They're talking about that in China. But where do you think that's going to go in the near future? If you could foresee, what do you think they're going to do? Do you think they're going to start creating hybrid beings as even like maybe sex type creatures? I've wondered about weird stuff like that. I don't know. I have nothing solid on it. But what are your thoughts for the hybridization and the weird? I mean, man, there's a show. There's that really interesting show on Netflix that came out a while back. I can't remember what it's called, but it's about the Nephilim hybrids among
Yeah, I
us.
mean, my thing is, I know I skip forward to the end times of the wheat and the tares a lot, and that gets thrown around a lot. And this is one of those, teachings. The one thing I do like about Scripture, it can be about today, tomorrow, and yesterday. It's all at the same time. It just depends. But the wheat and the tares is a story of when the angels come back with Jesus and they look down and the angel's like, what do you want to do? But here's the thing too. First of all, it says, while I was gone, Jesus is speaking, while I was gone, men were sleeping and tares grew up amongst the wheat. So you have a lot of churches teaching it that way of just
Oh
bad
yeah.
meal. Okay. But here's the thing with the wheat and the tares is on the inside, they're different. On the outside, they look like whatever. Now,
Hmm.
take what we're saying of hybrids is are hybrids going to be among us? Are they already among us? I don't think so. I mean, I think you could pretty much tell. I don't know. I know clones are. I believe clones are. But
Oh yeah.
now a hybrid would be a part machine, part human, like a humanoid. That I believe that's what he's speaking of the wheat and the tares is. Um, he says, take the tares, put them in the barn, burn them up, whatever, and leave. And that's why the meek shall inherit the earth, whatever. But it's very clear that on the outside, everything looks like everything else. Only the angels and God knows what's on the inside. That could be speaking of the hybrids. It's very interesting that we're getting close to that stage right now, especially with Elon Musk and what he's creating.
Yeah. On Elon Musk too. Real quick, one of the last. I can't remember how recent it was, but I follow him over on X just because I want
Yep.
to see what this dude's saying.
Exactly.
But
Me too.
he put up one a little while back where he said Chat GPT or whatever his chat, whatever it's called over there, Grok. That's it.
Groks.
Groks. Yeah, it says that Groks will make a fire girlfriend or fire boyfriend, and reminded me of the movie Her. You may have seen
Oh,
that.
yes, her with uh,
Joaquin
and
Phoenix.
Scarlett Johansson is the
Yeah,
operating system. Oh yeah, that's a great thing. That's a great
that was
show.
one of the first. Y'all should go check that out because it's happening now,
Yeah.
and that's the
Hmm.
future.
That
It
is
really for a
totally.
lot of people. And
Yeah.
look at what this beast system has done to dating for all the young people in marriage, and look how it's just third wave feminism along with the so-called N hyphen cell type culture. All that stuff mixed
Uh,
in. right? It's all
Yeah.
devilish, and it's
Um,
just destroyed relations with the young
yeah.
people. And
Yeah. It's
so
confusion. Yeah.
yeah, they're ripe though for this. They're ripe for falling in love with their AI boyfriend or girlfriend now, you know?
It is. And avatars, remember back in the day, you'd create your little avatars and whatever.
Oh yeah.
It's all part of the plan. And,
Yeah, what
uh,
do you think about Meta? And unless you have something else you wanted to share, but go
no,
ahead.
no, meta. I mean, it's, that whole thing with the Ouroboros pretty much is the snake eating itself, repeating itself. But, to me, I think meta, this whole thing with TikTok, I think Zuckerberg owns TikTok. Really, I think they switched them. I think he bought it, and because the algorithms changed, everything about it, the whole China thing, it's another distraction.
Yeah.
But Meta, you're talking about the
VR, like
VR, yeah,
that's a future too. That's a big
future
part of the
too.
future coming,
Yeah.
because
Hmm.
even the 5G, if you will, that's a big part of that running system. And I need to do a video on this. Is has to do with virtual reality.
Yep, exactly.
So
And people, I mean, there's people now that they can't tell they're it's getting such a blend of virtual and reality, and they're having a hard time. And we're not, and that's what's scary is we're in that time in history right now where things are converging. Digital currency is coming in, the old's going to go away, virtual reality. You know what I mean? It's totally the last kingdom of iron and clay. Iron being tech, clay being flesh, and it's
and
exactly.
total mind control. There's a lot of I love watching people's dreams and visions. I've been doing it for years, and
Mhm.
you got to use discernment, of course, but it's most of them are just really great. And but there's a lot of these people who've had dreams and visions of the future and of the tribulation, and people taking the mark of the beast and all this. And it's like almost not all of them, but a lot of them kind of say the same thing: is that once it happens, once they take it, like it's immediately change. It's like they turn off. It's like they're just a zombie, and then they just kind of go through the motions or something. It's weird, but
Do you believe it will be that fast, or do you
I
believe?
don't know. I don't know.
I think
I'm
it's
not
going to be.
sure.
I mean, I think it's well,
Why not?
it's definitely speeded up, but I think it's slowly been. You know,
Because I brought in. Go ahead. Sorry.
no, I was just going to say. I mean, feeding us and doing the agendas and
Yeah.
leading you down. I mean, every other movie has some kind of transhumanism in it. It's so
Oh
crazy.
yeah.
I mean, I can't see. That's the thing. It's hard to believe for me now. I remember when I started, man. You go on YouTube, put in transhumanism. I mean, you'd search and you'd see some of my videos. You wouldn't
Yeah.
find it anywhere. Now it's just like common.
Yeah.
Part of it,
Yeah.
and it's part becoming. I mean, if you type in transhuman healthcare, you will start seeing. I mean, you will see pages and pages of
Mainstream, right?
mainstream of this is what they're going to do. They're going to merge this to save humanity and all the things that we talked about. That
It's amazing. Yeah, it's right out there,
yeah, and
but people
that's
still don't see. You know.
no, and they have to understand. See, because here's the thing: is we're talking about organized religion. Okay. The church is teaching you that the devil is not all, but I'm just saying you. The devil is red horns, 666 on his chest with a pitchfork. They're giving you some kind of image of the enemy, and that's not it. Look, Satan works with seduction. Everything that he does is seduction. You're gonna want it. It's beautiful. Boom, boom, boom. That's what they need to be teaching, and more than that, but just knowing
Yeah.
that. Look, it isn't going to be. Hey, here's 666. Take it. I mean, it ain't going to be.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing. I like to mention everywhere that the mark is mentioned in the Bible, it says a couple of things that's very important. It says, let the reader understand. What that means is it ain't going to be easy. Let the reader understand. The other one is it has to be calculated. It has to be calculated. It's not going to be 666. It has to be calculated. And every verse that revolves around it is those two things. So that's where the DNA comes in, is how do you calculate to 666? And because that's the thing you have to understand is we were created a certain way. We were created as double helix individuals. And what the elite and Satan want to do is change that to a triple helix. And that's when you change from a human to a beast that can be controlled through frequencies. Everything, and this goes back to teaching of the fallen angels as well. When God created Earth and he created us, the angels were there. The angels were watching. Okay. They saw everything. Okay. So that's what magic is. Magic is a manipulation. People don't believe in magic. Yeah, magic does exist, but magic is a manipulation of God's laws. And they know that. They can't create anything, but they can twist it. That's what magic is all about. Okay. The other part of this is Satan is the prince of the air. He is the prince of the airwaves. That's why, look, if you want to copy the Almighty, who is everywhere, omnipotent all the time, how do you mimic that? 5G, airwaves everywhere, eyes everywhere, touching everything. And here's the other thing. God is known as the I am. I am the great I am. Okay. Now, how do you mimic that? iPad, iPhone, iLens. Apple knows quite well what it's doing and where it's going. I'm not saying if you own an Apple PC or a phone that you're evil. That's not the point. The point is the technology and where it's being leading humanity is the ultimate goal and the last game for trying to put itself. That's why Satan tells you himself what he wants to do. He wants to set himself, this is in Daniel, set himself up in the temple of God, declaring himself to be God. That's deep. And people are looking. This is why they thought I was crazy in the beginning. They're looking for someone to go into, and this is going to be done for a purpose. KJ's right. They're going to do a temple over there. They're going to have a guy go in there and claim that he is Christ and all of that stuff. But that is all for show. This is the temple of God. Jesus says it 3 times in the Bible. Don't you know you are the temple of God? And Satan just told you where he wants to set himself up in. He wants to set himself up in the temple of God. So you better find out where the temple of God is. It ain't over there in Israel and overseas. It's right here. That's why I made a connection years ago of science and the spiritual and connected the two. A lot of people don't want to do that. They want to stay, the scientists don't want to believe in God and they want to stay over here. Then you have the religious sect that don't want to believe in science. I connected DNA to the spiritual, science and the spiritual. That's what it's all about. And that's how I kind of started a little bit in the beginning with the transhumanism. Anyway, so I didn't want to preach, but
no, you did great, man. It made me think of a few things. In fact, I'm going to throw a theory out to you. I got my theories. I'm not saying, folks, this is what's going to happen, but when the Pope got sick, he got real deathly ill there about a month ago. You remember that?
Yep.
Yeah. So, when that happened, I just kind of had a little revelation because for many years, many of us, I don't know if you did, but many people kind of assumed that he was probably going to be the false prophet, just so he would be the connection between, like a whole Chrislam thing and all this. It's the way I thought.
Yep.
But then, so he gets deathly ill. I think he's better now. He's out of the hospital. But so it started making me think that what if with AI, and then I've been doing some videos on Elon because of the AI God talk and all this stuff, and just all his other cryptic, things he says. So, what if the AI God does come out of Egypt, as he said, right? Which is interesting, out of Memphis.
Yep.
And the Antichrist is here in the flesh, right? But then the fleshly Antichrist merges with this AI God, and then everybody who takes, say, the mark of the beast, right? Then they would be eternally connected to him through that.
That's a possibility. Yep.
Right? It's like, maybe we'll see, folks. I don't know. And I mean, I would wish nothing that, choose Jesus, folks. So you don't have to even worry about any of this stuff. But
here's one.
Yeah.
Here's a curve. Now,
Go
here's
for it.
another one that I've been seeing, and it's very interesting. I've not done enough research on it. There's a big movement now that they believe the United States is Israel. And the reason they believe this is in the Bible, it says Noah's Ark was made out of gopher wood. And the only place on earth that gopher wood is found is in Florida.
Whoa.
And, okay, that's number one.
I haven't heard this one yet.
Okay, this one's kind of deep. Okay,
cool.
Second of all, and I'm researching it, and it's matching up. It's weird. The elevations that they speak about with the mountains around Israel and Mount Sinai, that thing, it doesn't match up with the Israel today. It matches up with Utah up in that region, the elevations. The Nile and the deltas that it speaks of that come out of the Nile, that doesn't match up over there either. It matches up to the Mississippi.
Okay, yeah.
So, and that's called the Delta. And there's Memphis there. I mean, I don't know. I don't know where
the big pyramid. Yeah.
And
there's so much of that good stuff. Keep going, man.
Yeah, so that's what.
Good stuff.
So what they're saying. Now, here's my thing. What we're talking about is, I'm not saying that's true. I'm just saying a lot of people that's trending of, this is the true Israel. We've been lied to. Things have been destroyed, or whatever. But then here's the other thing. I knew for years there is no Star of David, folks. There's no Star of David. There's no Star of David mentioned in the Bible at all. There's a Star of Remphan mentioned twice, that you took a Star of Remphan of your own, or whatever. So, and then also, can't confirm it or whatever, but they're saying that the Rockefellers have bought that area and made Israel what it is. Like, it's not the true Israel land. It's just been pushed that way. I know whether that's true or not, I don't know, but wouldn't it be interesting that it does kind of fit the whole thing, what I was saying about a man going into a temple and playing the show and everything. And this is really the true temple that the enemy is after to control. But I don't know. I just started seeing that about 2 weeks ago, and researched
cool.
That is very cool. But you can look up where's gopher wood found, and it does say only in Florida, I think, is the only place, and that's very strange because.
But I wonder if it was different back in those days. It was a long time ago.
Yeah, time ago. So yeah, you're right. So they're trying to push that as in a fake agenda that this is the Israel and all that. That's
right.
Yep. So. Just be aware that's coming. You'll probably start seeing that.
I'm sure there's always a new one.
It is. It's like we said, man. It's like every week. It's like,
yeah, you got to stay on your toes, man.
I mean, it's hard.
It ain't easy, but yeah, doing what we do, you got to stay on your toes and keep your eyes, keep your head on a swivel, as they say, and. I always pray for protection, man. That's the big thing. Just pray, and clarity, to understand when it's the Holy Spirit speaking and not you in your head. That's when I pray about a lot, just in case. Exactly.
I mean, do you see changing somebody? I mean, do you see Trump finishing his term?
Gosh, I don't know, man.
The QAnons don't. They say that he's going to be taken out of the way, and JFK is.
Oh, goodness.
Is elevated. That's what they believe.
Wow, these people have got to stop, But I mean, I'm not sure, because I can't figure out if, look, there's a lot of symbolism around him for the next 9 + 2 ones, if you will, to happen here on our soil. And of course, there's the money, what Jonathan has revealed through the money on New York City. And so there's things like that. Yeah, right. Yeah, Hoover Dam. There's also, of course, St. John's Pillars, and there's people's dreams and visions for over 10 years now about New York, New York, New York. So, what I can't, and Trump had that commercial for Serta sleep mattresses or whatever, where he had, the sheep, the 9 and 11 on top of the pillars of masonry, right? So, exactly. Yeah, man. it's, yeah. So there's all the symbolisms there for it to pop off on his watch. So that's what I'm. So that's why I feel like it could happen. I don't know when, and I don't know as far as how long he's going to last. What's going to happen? Will
Yeah.
he go? Will they get him when that happens?
They also believe they're
Yeah.
saying is the first arrest will shock the world. What that means, I don't
I
know.
know exactly. Well, that what that came from his son. His
Yeah.
son's the one that put that out
Oh,
there,
yeah,
and
that's right.
so
You're right, Baron.
I would hope something comes. We'll see. I'm still waiting, but I'm not on pins and needles. I'm just like, well, let's see it, folks.
Um, let me ask you this too. I don't know about you, but for me, just in the last maybe 6 years, I feel like things are in limbo. I mean, before that, okay, yeah, but like, just the fakeness of what's on TV and the news now,
Yeah, even our food.
and the food, it's like, man, limbo. I feel like I'm like waiting for the shoe to drop or just come back.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's I never felt that way until about maybe probably about 6 months ago. I was like, okay, how crazy are you gonna let it get before you come back?
I think a lot of a lot of us go through those valleys and peaks with this. You know what I mean? With waiting and watching and yeah. But I, I'm a little bit on the opposite end of that. I'm not where you are now, but I've been there in the past. But just lately, just with the things I've seen, like I said, and I have to follow the numbers he shows me, and he's done it a lot. Even with the rapture. I don't know if you heard this one, but this is a few months ago. I talked to him during the day. I pray and went to a sandwich shop called McAllister's, and I went to my table. I sat down, and the number was 622. And in my spirit, is the way it works. I felt like I needed to look it up, the Hebrew and the Greek of it, or
Yeah,
just whatever. So I looked it up, and sure enough, man, I can't remember the way it balanced, but I think it was the Hebrew. The meaning was sudden destruction, destroy all, every just bad stuff, like everything's going crazy. And then the Greek was, I will remove you, I will save you, I will take you. Right. So y'all can look that one up. I can't remember the exact wording there, but keep that in mind, and that's what I was talking to him about that day. That's just one example, and so that stuff to me goes beyond any of kind of my own reason I have sometimes.
yeah.
I just won't even. I'm like, I'm not going to rely on my calculations and report, as research. I'm just going to go with this and say, okay, Lord, thank you, and
And
just for confirming, right?
yeah, that's just kind of what I do is just kind of get up thinking for the day, and he wants to put something in front of me to share or whatever. I'm still working on. I still got. That's the hard thing too is work on a video for so long, and then you try to put it on YouTube. It just I mean they're
It's
getting to the
different.
point. Yeah,
It's a different world here, man.
yeah. They take it down, strike it down just for whatever. But like
Yeah,
I've been trying to work on for. I know some of my subscribers are getting tired of me. Um, I'm going to do a video on Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I mean,
do it.
that is a perfect example of kind of what's going on. Have you ever heard this?
No, I want to hear it.
Okay, I'll leave you with this, and then maybe we call it a night. But
Okay.
okay. Look, Willy Wonka is the creator. Okay, and for y'all who've never seen Willy Wonka, I'll try to explain a little bit more. But it's so good, it is right on point. Okay, so with the story is Willy Wonka is owns a chocolate factory, and he is going to hand this off to somebody. He can't keep doing it forever and ever, and he's going to hand it off. And he sends out these golden tickets for everybody. And if you get the golden ticket, you get to come in. Now, unbeknownst to the kids or whatever, they don't know that he's going to hand the kingdom over to them or the factory. They just think they're going to go in there to see the factory and get some chocolate and meet Willy Wonka. Now, Willy Wonka sends these golden tickets out. Now, when you watch the movie for the first time, you think it's random, okay, who gets to go. Watch it again. Willy Wonka knows perfectly well who's going to get what ticket, and who it is. Because when he brings the kids in to them, their biggest, like Satan, their biggest, what do you say? One's an overweight kid that's a glutton. So that's his biggest thing. He's going to come in there. He knows he's going to not do what he's supposed to do. He's going to overeat. There's one that's greedy. They're all different ones that they bring into to Willy Wonka's kingdom. Except Charlie is the last one that gets the golden ticket. They all go in there. Okay. So Willy Wonka is the creator. But here's the thing. Before they go to the factory, Slugworth, Mr. Slugworth, is sent out. Unbeknownst to the kids, he goes to them and he goes, look, when you go in, I will give you money. I'll take care of your family, but I want you to steal the everlasting gobstopper. And the everlasting gobstopper is in the shape of a DNA molecule. Okay. Everlasting gobstopper. All right. So kids all go in, get the golden tickets, see, and you're in there. Okay. And they go through, all the kids act up, and he throws them out, except Charlie. Now, Charlie does a couple of things at the end that he wasn't supposed to, rubs up against the wall with in the factory and didn't tell anybody with his grandpa. So they go into the last part of the tour, and they go into his office. And as you know, when you notice you go into his office, everything in the office is half and half.
Yeah, I forgot that.
It is. It's half and half. What we are right now, we're half and half. We're sorry. That's, call it sin, call it whatever you want. There's good in us, there's bad in us, and you have to choose every day which way you want to go. But anyway, but he goes they go into offices. Charlie, his grandpa, and Willy Wonka. And Willy Wonka just says, hey, have a nice day, and sits down at his table. He's facing away from him. He's not even looking at him. He's writing. And the grandpa goes, he's looking at Charlie, and he's like, what about the chocolate and the lifetime chocolate and all this stuff and whatever? And then Willy Wonka turns around, Yahweh, our creator, and he says, you get nothing. You did this, you touched the wall, you broke the rules, da-da-da-da. And he comes off very mean, okay, to Charlie and the grandpa. And then he turns back around and sits down. Charlie takes out of his pocket the everlasting gobstopper that Mr. Slugworth wants. Okay, so he has a choice. He has a choice. He goes, and the grandpa says, "Come on, we're going to give Slugworth the old everlasting gobstopper and get the money and take care of us or whatever." But Charlie, the kid, he takes it out of his pocket, walks up, puts it on the table right next to Willy Wonka, the creator, and says, he said, "Here you go, Mr. Wonka. Thank you," like that. And real gentle, not mad. And he starts walking off. He turns around and he says, what does he say? He says, such a delightful soul in a weary world. That's what he says to Charlie. And he says, "You won, my boy. It was all a test." And he opens the door, and Slugworth, Satan, comes through the door. And they're like, "Oh, that's Mr. Slugworth. Oh my gosh." And the creator says, "No, he works for me. Satan works for me." He was tempting them the whole time to see what you're going to do. Okay. And then what happens? Guess what he does? He takes them up. He takes Charlie and the grandpa in the Wonkavator and goes up. He ascends. And he says, "It's all yours." He said,
beautiful.
Love it. You get the kingdom, just like David's going to get it. You get the kingdom. And he said, and here's the thing, and I'll explain to this. He says, I'm not going to back up, but I'm going to finish the story when they go up. Jesus says in the word, "Come to me like a little child." And I didn't know what that meant for years. What do you mean? I'm on my knees crying? What are you talking about? No. You come to him like a little child because a child doesn't know racism. A child doesn't know doctrine. A child doesn't know the ways of this world that are taught by Satan. He doesn't know any of that. He's just playing in a sandbox with everybody and having a good time, and he's happy. That's what he means. If you want to understand, that's why it's hard for grown-ups. You have to put all of the gobbledygook, all the things that you've learned from this world to the side and see discernment. So when Willy Wonka takes Charlie up in the Wonkavator and says, I'm going to give you the whole factory, you can bring your whole family or whatever. And he says, I had to give it to a little child and the way they think. Because see, Grandpa was mad. He was out for his own good. Whatever. The child was not thinking like that. You see what I'm saying? It's a perfect, and I got to tell, I'll tell it a little better, but there's a video that I want to do, and I'm going to.
Oh, you should.
I should. So it's just taking a little time because I'm going to have to probably just put it up on the website because I know it's not going to go on YouTube because I want to use some of those clips within.
Oh, yeah. That's safer. I'm glad you're going to do that.
So anyway,
let us know.
I don't know if that was a good explanation, but it is.
Oh, it was great.
So I appreciate you letting me share. So
yeah, no, you're welcome, man. And that's a beautiful way to end it, man. And gosh, Nicholson, just takes me back to the old days. You're still just as mind blowing as ever, and still just pleasant to talk to. Thank you. No, it's just always great chatting. And do you mind if I say a prayer here real quick before we go?
You know I don't. Go ahead.
All right. Heavenly Father, I just want to say thank you so much for my brother in Christ here, Nicholson, and the fact we've been friends for so long, known each other for so long, and able to come back together tonight. And just thank you so much. And just I pray you bless him and his wonderful family out there. And thanks for all the great people who are here tonight listening. Truly appreciate each and every one. And thank you for the platforms, Lord. I pray you protect the platforms. Thank you for them. And thank you for, once again, a place for us to all meet up like this. And thanks for being with us in these crazy days, Father. We certainly need you. I just pray you keep us all close and protected in these days and wise as we can be. So thank you, Father. On that note, we love you. And in Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Amen. I enjoyed it. It was like nothing. It's like I've been sitting here having a cup of coffee with you for 2.5 hours. You know, it was like effortless. So I miss that.
Great. Me too. Good. I'm glad you feel that way. I do too. And obviously we'll do it again. We'll reach out and keep in touch here again. I know you've got it. Our friend Nicholson has a real life out there, folks. But
and if I do the Willy Wonka here in the next couple of months, I'll reach out to you.
Do it.
That it's put it out there. So yeah. So
do it.
Appreciate you having me on, sir. I really do.
You're welcome. I love you, man. And we'll do it again. Okay.
Love you, KJ.
Thanks, man. Take care.
All right, buddy.
All right. Bye-bye. All right, guys. Let me jump over here to the chat with y'all for a second and just say thanks again so much for being here, everybody. Tamara, I always appreciated. Thank you so much for your hard work here. Appreciate you. But good to see everyone. Again, thank you so much for being here, guys. I have another live show tomorrow over on Rumble, 2 p.m. Central Standard. The channel name is KJ Osborne with a Z. Please go check that out. Do a couple shows there. Wait, what am I saying? I'm on YouTube tomorrow. I'm so used to being on Rumble. Last week we had some trouble. I think it's good now. I think it'll be fixed. So forget what I just said. Strike that. Rumble, 2 p.m. Central Standard on Monday for the Uncensored show. But tomorrow, Saturday, right here on KJ's What Happened YouTube channel, 2 p.m. Central Standard, be doing KJ's What Happened. So I hope you can make it. It's always a pleasure, and it'll be a lot of fun. I have a lot to share with y'all. On that note, thanks again, Nicholson. We love you, man. We'll do it again definitely soon, and take care. And to all of y'all, thanks again. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow, 2 p.m. Thanks.